Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis has agreed to pay $3.2 million to the family of Dante Wright, a black man fatally shot by a police officer who said she confused her gun for her taser. Attorneys for Wright's family said the tentative settlement also includes changes in police policies and training. Brooklyn Center officer Kimberly Potter was subsequently convicted of first and second-degree manslaughter in the case and was sentenced to serve 2 years in prison. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with expertise and tools with Windows 11 to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. To do more with a Latitude laptop, Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Giving it your all on the court? Make sure you have the right partner by your side. Highland's Leg Cramps Quick Dissolve Tablets, America's #1 leg cramp relief solution for over 10 years. No water needed, no stomach upset, just fast, effective relief. Also available in caplets. Highland's Leg Cramps, to healthy competition and beyond. Available at Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS. Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
90 to 95 degrees for the high temperature this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, hot and humid. Just a tiny chance of a spot thunderstorm. Tough to find tonight. Clear skies. A slow drop in the humidity, but it's going to take much of the night. 69. Thursday, sunny. Great day. Less humid. 90 degrees. Jump it to 95 Friday, jump it to 100 on Saturday, and then a fall, less humid, and 85 on Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Eric Crichton Senate ad.
I'm Eric Crichton's Navy SEAL, and today we're going rhino hunting.
Designed to get attention.
What you're seeing is a tremendous amount of faux outrage from leftists and rhinos because it's an extraordinarily effective ad.
He's talking about it here.
We're 3.5 million people who watched it, and we've had tremendous feedback from real Missourians all across the state.
97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group. I'm proud to say we are a family business. Through innovative financial tools, my nephew Bob and I are committed to making sure your retirement nest egg is kept safe from market declines. As a matter of fact, we have never lost a dime of our clients' money, and we won't lose any of yours either.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw, and the secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. As we look ahead at the likelihood of increasing volatility in the market, it's important that you protect your nest egg from market losses, as that's the engine that drives your retirement income.
Our family would like to help your family retire comfortably and keep your retirement safe and secure. Call us now for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 36 years. Call us now, 314-993-9494. Or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
This is Judge Mike Carter. As the judge for Wentzville and an attorney, I've had the honor of working with Lincoln County Prosecutor Mike Wood and St. Charles Prosecutor Tim Lomar. We all share a great respect for the rule of law and keeping our families and communities safe. Cori Bush, AOC, and the others demanding to defund the police don't have a clue. As your next Republican state senator, I'll oppose those who want to defund our police and tie the hands of our law enforcement. As a judge, I know firsthand how dedicated our law enforcement professionals are. Our police and sheriff's deputies put their lives on the line every day to keep our families and communities safe. They will know that as your state senator, Mike Carter has their back. I'll also protect our Second Amendment rights and see that strong laws are in place to dissuade those who think they can come here from St. Louis or elsewhere to break in your car or home. I'm Mike Carter, and I want to earn your vote to be your next Republican state senator. Go to MikeCarter.com to learn more. Paid for by Team Mike Carter.
Did you know there's a Space Channel?
One of the most exciting projects in the solar system.
Space Channel's got movies, original series, news, music, and so much more.
We have come to visit you in peace. Now we're getting to what they call the moment of truth.
Download the Space Channel app on your connected TVs and mobile devices. Just go to the App Store and search Space Channel. Do it now. It's free.
Space Channel, front row seat to the final frontier.
When you discover a new favorite bottle of Cabernet or bourbon at Total Wine, you'll discover a whole lot more. So explore the wondrous selection and totally low prices at TotalWine.com, where you'll love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly, B21.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Cut up 6-pack rings and reduce your use of plastic to help keep it out of our waterways and oceans. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Want to listen to 97.1 outside the listening area? There's an app for that. Download the Odyssey app, and one tap will turn the station on. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The federal government in particular has become the enforcer of woke ideology in America. I mean, school districts are going to lose their lunch money if they don't follow their transgender agenda. Police departments are going to lose their money. You've seen the military be turned into a place where woke ideology is now promoted both publicly and in the academies. So people are looking at it and saying, all right, the government has now been deputized into the role of an enforcer for this leftist ideology. And so people are increasingly suspicious and doubtful of, and quite frankly, in many cases, alienated from government and from institutions they once trusted.
That's Senator Marco Rubio. A lot of people are very polarized on Marco Rubio. I get it. I know some of you can't stand him. I happen to like him. I think that he has been a positive for the country, and I think he is a reflection. At least his last presidential campaign, he spoke in terms of future American dreams and not so much in going over the past. Doesn't it seem like all we ever do is talk about the past when we need to be focusing on the future? Now, I'm not so ignorant to think that you don't have to know where you've been to see where you're going. That's in Moana. They're wayfinders. That and something about the stars and not giving the sky a high five when you're looking. Anyway, if you know, you know. I have little people surrounding me at all times and musicals. So when I listen to what Marco Rubio is talking about there at the beginning of this show here, he lists off 3 places: the schools, police, and military, where leftist ideology has really seeped into these mainstream public institutions. So if you want to have a leftist ideology and you want to, espouse these types of lifestyles or policy discussions or whatever, and you want to do it in a place that is not publicly funded, if you want to do it in a place that is, encouraging the idea of discussion and free thought, if you want to do it out on the street, I mean, okay, fine, whatever. If you want to backdoor leftist ideology into all of our main institutions, our public institutions, and really, really get in the groundwater with what has been labeled, and I think the term woke is tired, no pun intended, because people hear that and they automatically run to their corners, of course. Same thing about red flag laws. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Schools, police, and military, the 3 places that Marco Rubio talked about. Is there, I could argue till I was blue in the face that all 3 of those things are the most important to take back in the next election or at your local level, your community, grassroots activists of sorts. And I think, you're like, we don't have any activists that are far side. Well, that's because you're one of them. And if you haven't started to participate in something that brings a little bit of sanity back to our way of life, then no, we don't have any activists. If you haven't shown up and positively worked to try to make some change, our movement is dead. You know, talking about the future and the past, I was thinking about this today while I was driving into work, and there was a couple, I don't remember how many games ago it was. My son, I'm in the thick of baseball, 12-year-old, air quotes, select baseball, everything's select. If everything's select, nothing is select. Here, everybody have a trophy. I mean, it's really not like that, but select baseball when I grew up was super separate and elite. I mean, honestly, Legion baseball, as far as boys go, was what you did, and Legion has gone by the wayside due to Swivel, which is the Southwestern Illinois Baseball League, and other places around that, GBA over here on the Missouri side, I believe. So this is youth sports. And at 12, you're kind of on the precipice of getting into what really resembles baseball on a regular basis. Maybe a little bit earlier than that for some teams and their leagues. Maybe a little bit later for others. But we were playing a baseball game. We won the game. Our kids won the game. But, man, I'm telling you, the umpire was really not skilled. And it's not so much, I mean, I was an IHSA volleyball official, so certified by the state, licensed by the state. There's like licensed, registered, and certified. I don't even remember which order they go. I had a patch. It wasn't certified though, because there's like 12 certified officials in the IHSA right now going, Annie was certified? It's like total nerd culture. But if you're in, you're in, and you're totally okay with that. I wasn't certified, folks, but I did have a patch, and the IHSA said, yes, please officiate as many games as you possibly can. Once you know what you have to go through to become recognized by licensed, registered, whatever the word is, by the state, you understand that there are things, for instance, I'll speak for volleyball, which is what I had my patch in, about, you have to call whether the ball landed in or out. You also have to know, if a hand touches the net, is that a fault? Yes, it is. If somebody's hair whips around and flicks through the net, is it a fault? No, it's not. Can you hit the ball from the back row and the front row? Yes, you can, but not if the ball is above the plane of the net, yada, yada, yada. There's lots of rules that go in. And I'll tell you what, the more you get into the rules, the less the officials actually know them. And there's an official shortage, which we could talk about at another time. But there's also, aside from all of that, there are things called mechanics, which is when you call as an official, a volleyball official, when you call for someone to serve, you're supposed to extend your arm all the way out to the side and beckon the serve. You invite them with your arm across your chest to serve the ball. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that, but there is one way that is taught, and that's the mechanic. That's how you do it. And ideally, you go from gym to gym to gym to gym, and that call for a serve looks the same from gym to gym to gym to gym. It's consistent. That's why it's called a mechanic. I don't know what it is right now, but it used to be you extend your arm out to the side and you bring your flat hand to your alternate shoulder for the serve with a whistle. When you go to another gym and they don't follow the mechanic, it just looks sloppy. You can know all of the rules. You can make perfect calls throughout the entire game. But when it looks bad, you invite trouble. This baseball game that we were at a few days ago, the umpire behind home plate was calling strikes, with his right hand up. You call a strike and you make a fist right up about in front of the face, huh! But he was calling balls that were high by raising his right hand above his head.
Oh, you can't do that.
And signaling what you would say, like, oh, someone was this tall, like up, and he was going, high.
No.
So you're sitting back there and you're going, huh, high. And you're like, what? and then the worst part about it was, if you're going to get punched out on a pitch, I don't know, what would it be? I guess your left arm goes out.
Let's see. How do I do it? Yeah, your left arm goes out.
This is great visual
radio. Your left arm goes out,
yeah.
and you pull back with your right.
And you punch him out. If you're going to call a strike, another way that umpires will call strikes is by pointing. They will lift their right hand up and point basically to first base. I don't know how the official. Okay, Nerds in the officiating community, just sit down for a second. I'm doing my best here. I've never been an umpire, and good grief, nor would I ever be. So you lift your hand up and you just, and you point basically down to first base. Full count. Ball 4. Points down, and everyone's immediately like, So what's happening is now those mechanics, as bad as they were, I don't think this is true, but he could have gotten every call right. Every time he called a ball, it could have been a ball. He just did it in a way that made everybody go, what are you doing? Like, how is this manifesting itself? So what you have here, why am I talking about all this? Because you have two teams. You got boys sitting in the dugout. You got boys up on the fence. You got a runner on first or second. And if somebody calls strike 3 and there's not 2 outs, that kid can run. If somebody is stealing and it's ball 4, maybe they don't have to run. It's just very confusing for everybody who's in the game. And I'm going to tell you, if you have a full count and someone makes a vocal noise, and they point down to first base, and you think that your pitcher just got the called third strike, and the other side thinks they just got the walk, somebody is inevitably upset after that because they were led to believe something because somebody didn't do their job right. That doesn't mean they got the call wrong, but they weren't implementing it right. You leave the game, you're frustrated because the umpires were confusing you the whole time. It just sets a negative tone for the entirety of the game. After this game, our boys won. We were missing a couple players, but it was a team that we should have handled much better than we did. The other team played very well. Kudos to them for challenging this game and really teaching our kids a lesson. But after the game, I heard some chatter about, man, those umpires, kind of complaining about the umpires. And, I said to my husband, because it wasn't specifically for him, but I said to him, I go, you have not him specifically, but there is no reason to criticize the umpires if you didn't come to play the game the way you know how to play the game. If you played a flawless game and the umpires cost you the game, there are situations where that happens. The umpires can complicate the situation, but if there's work that needs to be done on the team, whether it's mental focus, execution, not making silly, stupid mistakes, certainly not, and this is never accepted on our baseball team, having players complain about the umpires, that is not allowed in any circumstances. If you're going to take your mind off of what you can control when you go play the next game and waste that energy investing it on how goofy the umpire really was in the way they were making calls, you're setting yourself up to lose the next game. And I cannot think of a better metaphor for the 2022 midterm elections and the 2024 general election. For the Republicans to fumble this, not even across the finish line in 2024, if all they ever going to talk about is how ridiculous the umpires were. If there are things that you can reflect on, even if you felt like you gave yourself maybe an A- on performance, like it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but maybe if I would have been paying attention to tag up on third in the third inning, maybe if I would have squeezed on that pop fly in the outfield when there were 2 outs and they ended up scoring 3 runs after that, maybe a couple of instances where you could have controlled what your team was doing and used that as a learning opportunity for the next time you take the field, recalibrate your focus, and know, if you're playing 12U baseball, that the next time you go on the field, the umpires are not guaranteed to ever be any better. And also to know, in that specific situation, the amount of people who want to step in and be involved in being an umpire, what a thankless job. You get new people in who don't know what they're doing because they're new and there's such a shortage that you need to push people into this, great way to make some extra cash. I'll tell you that much. But they don't know what they're doing. They need to be educated. They need the experience of being out there. We are going to have to work with people who are new to the situation in 2022 and especially in 2024. We're going to have to bring people in who want to do it right. On the team side, we're going to have to know that we have to stay focused and we have to do what we need to do to win the game, not to not lose the game. And as much as you might see the umpire or umpires on the field doing God knows what, and you're like, where does this come from? Where did you come up with this? Folks, they are the umpires. You can field complaints after the game. But if those boys aren't prepared to take the field the next game with their heads on straight, with reflection on how they could have performed better, and the commitment and the desire to do so on the field the next time, you are going to lose again. And the worst kind of loss in the same way you've lost before, where you had an opportunity to learn something, to improve yourself based on a performance that wasn't perfectly flawless. And I'm still waiting for my first perfect, flawless performance on anything. If the Republicans look at what happened in 2020 and they use that as the largest piece of the pie going into 2022's midterm election, which is 139 days away, or the general election in 2024, we will take our eye off the ball and we will strike out, and we won't even know if we walked or if we struck out for an inordinate amount of time. And we won't know what happened, and we'll go sit in the car and we'll all grumble about the umpires again. But at the end of the day, it goes in the loss column. I really, really hope this is a lot based off of yesterday's YouTube live chat poll, which is your current emotion towards the country. I think 7% of the people responded with hopefulness. I think 49% said angry, and like 30-something said sadness. If you're complaining about the umpires, I'd be angry too. If you're somebody who wants to be self-reflective and to say, listen, the field is what it is. The mound in the middle of the field is what it is. The umpires, that's who shows up to the game. There are things we can control and there are things we can't control. And I'm talking about you and me. I'm not talking about the legislators on Capitol Hill. I'm not talking about the people who are assaulting your mailbox with dead trees or infiltrating your Cardinals baseball game with ad after ad after ad. I'm talking about you and me. What can we do to make sure that we come prepared for the next game to win? And if there's something that you can do and there's something that I can do, show up and do it. And be in contact with those people at the most local level who can help point you in directions where your specific set of skills. If you don't like talking to people, maybe there's some mailers that you can help with, or maybe there's some roles that you can help look at, or whatever. I don't even know what the possibilities are. You have to go see how you can help focus on the next game. Otherwise, if you're always going to wait for the umpires to win the game or lose the game for you, to me, it always feels like a loss. Let's take a quick break. When we come back in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to speak with Eric Schmitt at 1:25 p.m. Of course, the Attorney General of the state of Missouri. He is running for the United States Senate as well. Roy Blunt seems to be supporting this legislation on the gun bill package. And Josh Hawley, not so much. We've been trying to connect with Josh Hawley and haven't been able to schedule him yet. If you'd like to hear Josh Hawley on the Annie Frey Show, please tweet at him kindly and tell him you'd like to hear from him here. We'd love to discuss it with him. But Eric Schmitt, we're going to talk to him about the legality. I mean, folks, Senate and the House can't pass laws that aren't constitutional. So even if you pass a law and it doesn't jive with the Constitution, there's a whole nother body of government that legislates that. Of course, we've seen a lot of that lately. What does Eric Schmitt think about it as a top legal authority here in the state of Missouri? Deroy Murdock at 1 o'clock as well, talking about the Biden's relentless war on the border target as they target law enforcement and not the people who are coming here illegally. And we're also working to connect with Maj Toure. He's the founder of Black Guns Matter, and we will have him on the show today, we hope, shortly. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022. Coverage sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
Slim 180 online at myslim180.com. One of the things that I love about Slim 180 is their accessibility. 6 locations throughout the St. Louis area. And when you go there, the first time you walk in, and all you have to do is say, Annie said this worked for her, and I would like to know how this might work for me. And they're going to sit down, and your story with Slim 180 is going to be different than mine. Maybe significantly more successful than mine. And I've lost 22 pounds with Slim 180 doing their HCG program. They have other programs there as well that they are excited to show you, to help you lose the weight, to gain that healthy feeling about yourself and the confidence that you want as summer is finally here. And they're offering a huge savings of 35% off of all of their programs. Reach out to Slim 180 and get your free consultation started today. And be sure to tell them that you heard about him on the Annie Frey Show. Free consultation. What do you have to lose except for the weight, of course? Find them online at myslim180.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Our national debt is now over $30 trillion, an increase of over 20% in just the past 2 years. I'm sure you've been told at some point that taxes will be lower when you retire, but do you truly believe that? Now is the time to begin planning for the future of tax increases. Is your financial advisor helping you with tax planning for a tax-efficient future? If not, this is the time to call me, Ken Heisey, at Heisey Advisory Group. 314-328-6000. If you're like most people, you have a portfolio of investments, but a portfolio is not a plan. How have you planned for the potential legislative risk of increased taxes? Call Heisey Advisory Group now and let us help you create a plan to reduce the tax risk in your retirement. 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
If you're planning to sell your home in the St. Louis area, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. Mark Cox here, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees with that. She also has options to help every type of home seller because she understands every situation is different. If you need to sell your home fast, but you're worried about finding the next home, Gloria has the answers and the solutions. She has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers. No showings, no hassles. You pick the closing date, even up to a year, giving you the cash and the time you need to find that next home. Call Gloria today about that instant cash offer and her guarantees and her other options that'll help you sell fast for the most money. Call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online.
Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for spending some time with us today. The YouTube live chat poll, you can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote in the poll, which says, will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? I had some family members call me and ask me about some races this morning, and they said they were going to go vote this, I guess today, but they said they went into their administration building in their neighborhood, and it was super easy, super fast, and done. So in Illinois, the primary is June 28th. That's when the results come in theory, and you can vote now because we have early voting for, I think it's at least a month, which is crazy. Have you voted yet?
No, I was going to do it last night, but didn't get around to it, so I'll probably do it tonight.
Okay. Steve is reacting to what I was saying in the last segment. It is just basically saying if you're playing in a sporting event and the umpires are terrible, even if they're making the right calls, but they are confusing in the way that they're doing it, if you don't play your very best, you can't leave the field blaming the umpires for the outcome of the game. Steve says on our Annie Frey Show Facebook Live, so you are essentially saying to forget about the obvious issues and the many unanswered questions about the 2020 election. Is that what I was saying?
I didn't gather that, but to address his and using another baseball analogy, whenever you argue a call, you don't argue to get the previous call overturned, you argue for the next call, and I feel like we've made our point with the previous call. So we don't need to keep arguing. At some point, you have to move on and start playing the game again.
Is it also not possible to effectively do both?
I think so.
I mean, if I turn on news media on both sides of the aisle, and I would honestly say that it's much heavier on the left right now than it is on the right, obsessing over the last election, knowing that the 2016 election was challenged by Hillary Clinton.
A lot.
Yes. In 2004, was it that was challenged by the Democrats, I believe?
01? Bush Gore?
No. W's re-election.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
And in, of course, Al Gore's and George Bush, which was like obviously super close. But to suggest that elections haven't been, that this is a new thing for the Republicans to be challenging it is very short-sighted. But the people who are talking about this, any side of the aisle that is fully 100% engrossed in litigating what happened before and not focusing on the absolute dumpster fire that our country is experiencing right now, you are now losing the last election and the next one.
Right. Because the people that you need to win over to win this election aren't as in it as you are. They don't know the details that you know. They haven't paid attention to what it is that you think that you're seeing or what that you are seeing. They're looking at the gas pump going, why is prices going up? They're looking at the empty shelves saying, where's all the baby formula? They're looking at the economy going, why does my paycheck not go as far as it can go? That's how you win the people that you need to win to win. The bases on each side are going to vote. The blue people are going to vote blue. The red people are going to vote red. You've got to win the people in the middle, and you don't win those people by getting into the weeds.
There used to be, and I don't necessarily trust really any systems. Everything, every inch of our public structure has been politicized. And, to what extent we know, think about to the extent that we don't. But I would like to investigate all of the things. I would like to investigate January 6th. I would like to know how those people got so easily into the Capitol building. I would like to know the backgrounds of the initial breachers of the Capitol. I would like to know more about Ashley Babbitt. I would like to know more about the political connections that exist before January 6th occurred, the requests for security, and the security that was provided. I would like to know all of that. We did impeach the president once already under the charge of inciting an insurrection, and he was not found guilty in the Senate. Now, this whole January 6th hearing that's taking place right now, are they going to come up with something different? God, they hope they do. That's the whole point here. Because the left, and you know that it's a political endeavor because Nancy Pelosi wouldn't allow the minority side to pick their own people for this committee. If they would have allowed that, and they'd still be in the minority, if they would allow that and to actually have a hearing that did represent the majority party and the minority party, all of which were in the Capitol that day, I might add. It's not as if the insurrection of sorts, air quotes, only affected Democrats, because Republicans were in that building too. Some of the Republicans that were in that building, of course, voted against President Trump in that impeachment trial. But it affected Republicans and Democrats alike. But Nancy Pelosi wouldn't allow the minority to name their own people. So if she didn't, then she's afraid of something, or she needs something really bad. And so that's why they did it. It's not a level playing field. Fixing the 2020 election, fixing the January 6th travesty, coming up with all the answers and the solutions, and truth. That's what it's all about, right? Truth is getting to the truth. Knowing the truth about all of it is important and necessary. But in the meantime, record high inflation, record high gas prices, listening to Larry Summers say just this week that we're going to need to get up to about 10% unemployment in order to effectively curb the effects of inflation. 10% employment, 1 in 10. That's where we're headed. That's how we solve this problem. Knowing that the direction that everything is heading right now is to get rapidly worse. And the administration doesn't even A, acknowledge the problems exist, or B, obviously, if they didn't acknowledge it in the first place, they're not putting in place solutions that are going to actually protect the American middle class. And if you want to talk about the people below the middle class, they're just using those people in order to get elected once again. So what do the Republicans have to offer? What is the Republican plan? What's the Republican plan when they win in the midterms to curb inflation? What are they going to do? What can they even do? What do American voters, not Republicans and Democrats, what do American voters and taxpayers need to know and understand about what Republicans have to offer them right now, so that Americans go to the polls educated about something that happens in the future and not constantly being defined by what has happened in the past? The more the Democrats want to stick their heads in the sand about January 6th and be obsessed with Donald Trump, who won't be on the ballot anywhere to be found in the midterm election in 2022, if they want to just obsess about that, yep, that's fine. You keep going down, because that's working great for you. That's working great for the country. People don't even know how high to say this red wave will hit, because it gets worse every day. And the biggest thing on the Democrats' plate right now is the January 6th hearings and litigating Donald Trump's involvement in it. They're more concerned about that for their own political careers than they are about your ability to live a comfortable, independent life as an American taxpaying citizen. So, while they're doing that, while they're on the other side complaining about every call that the umpire makes and whining and moaning about things that are not within their control and trying to make a spectacle about it and distract voters from what is indistractable. Is that a word? American voters, Republicans, Democrats, people in between, people who swear off politics, they know that the economy is in shambles right now, and they know that it's not looking up anytime soon. And they also do know, if they know one thing about American government, it's that Joe Biden is the president and Donald Trump isn't. Their thoughts on that, individual, case-by-case basis with every individual voter you talk to. The Republicans have an opportunity to focus on themselves. You have an opportunity to get in the game and be involved in a way that you have never been before, to make sure that we have done everything we possibly can for the sake of the country, for common sense, the Constitution, conservative policies and values that are meaningful to making this country constitutionally sound, to do something. You have the ability to do it. I'm just asking you to consider what you have to offer. Maybe you're the cleanup hitter. Maybe you organize the water bottles on the bench. Whichever one it is, they're all important jobs. And sitting out and whining and moaning and reflecting on what happened in the past, while I know that's not going to stop anytime soon, make sure you're thinking about what happens next in the future. That Illinois primary, Tuesday. The Missouri primary, August 2nd. Roy Blunt is a supporter of the initial framework. I haven't gotten his specific comment yet on the 80-page legislation for this gun bill that has come out yet. But Missouri, you've got a big, big choice in front of you. To send somebody to the United States Senate who's going to represent you each and every step of the way, and to make a pretty drastic difference, not as drastic as if it were in Illinois, of course, but a pretty drastic difference on what the new face of conservatism, the new face of Republican is going to look like in the Senate. And Josh Hawley has done a heck of a job. You could have two. But you got to get involved. If you like one of these candidates, you have to get involved now and make sure that you send the right person after the primary. Illinois, of course, you've heard a lot about the candidates running for different races there in the governorship, in the congressional districts. Get involved. It's not too late to get involved in the primary and speak for who you want to represent you. And then when it comes to the general, we lock arms and we work to win. We work our butts off to win. Our insignificant, individual, single vote butts off to win. Because it's going to take every single one of us. Let's take a quick break. Wiggins America, when we come back. I think the only intel I have on what he's going to talk about, I think the words he used were tiny bubbles.
Oh, you've got more intel than I've got.
That's it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm envious of your position on that. Tiny bubbles, that's what he told me, and I don't know what that means. So I, too, will stay tuned to find out what Wiggins America Tiny Bubbles means in just a minute. Don't forget to vote in the Annie-Frey YouTube live chat poll. Will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? Would love to hear what your thoughts are on that. I see people commenting specifically in Illinois that you already have voted. Let's make sure the turnout is strong. Stick around. Wiggins America in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Governor Mike Parson.
But if we're going to cut taxes, cut it for everybody, cut it for good, and keep narrowing those taxes down for everyday people and put money in their pockets. I don't like the one and done stuff. I just don't think that's always the greatest policy.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Air Comfort Service is wanting to make sure that you understand free estimates. I want you to make sure that you know that when you are looking for an opportunity to better your air conditioner unit, you need to make sure that you go to Air Comfort Service. They've been in my home multiple times, furnace, air conditioning, water heater. They did an AeroSeal duct sealing, which in a time like this where it gets super hot here in the St. Louis summers, I want to tell you about the AeroSeal duct sealing and how it helped our home. What they do is they measure first how much air is leaking out of all the ductwork in your house. Now, we have a partially finished basement and a 2-story house, and that air that's being pushed up from the basement all the way up to the upstairs, we used to have to set our air conditioner at like 65, 66 in order to make sure that all 3 levels were cool. Now it's not like that at all. Like during the day, 74 degrees, no problem. The amount of energy that sealing all of that ductwork has done, saving that energy for our house, has been amazing. And I trust the people at Air Comfort Service to do that. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Call them. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. You can visit them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Judge Mike Carter. And just like you, I've been working in the real world for a good long time. I remember busting tables back in 1986, driving Domino pizza deliveries. I was a UPS package car driver. Then I got my license in real estate in 1990. Been doing that for a good long time as a broker and salesperson. And I started my law firm in 2004 and been doing that for 18 years, making sure paychecks cash and people have 401ks. We could use a lot more real world in Washington, D.C., and especially Jeff City here in Missouri. Much like President Trump when he came into D.C. and was cleaning up the swamp, a lot of it had to do with the fact that he had been thrashing around in the real world for a very long time. I've dealt with bureaucrats and red tape and the things that get in the way for people to be successful in their jobs and their businesses. And I can tell you down in Jeff City, there will be no voice louder than mine with the experience that I bring to bear on what we need for the citizens of the state of Missouri. I'd like you to go to MikeCarter.com and check this out. Paid for by Team Mike Carter, Mike Carter Treasurer.
Hi, guys. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 22nd, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your ED without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's worth $1,000, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in the neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's preferred James Hardy and Pella expert. Right now, the safest place to invest is in your home. Add curb appeal and value with a fresh new look you'll be proud to own. Check us out on the website or call 314-569-1050 for a free in-home design consultation. That's bannerconstruction.com or 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. Again, 314-569-1050 or bannerconstruction.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a new HVAC system and see if you qualify for 0% financing and $100 to $900 in utility rebates. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Back in the car and back on the road. We're with you. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Last night I had the strangest dream. I sailed away to China in a little rowboat to find you, and you said you had to get your laundry clean. Didn't want no one to hold you. What does that mean? And you said.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Nothing's going to break my stride, not even Wiggins America.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
Wiggins is it Wiggins a champion?
Oh,
not you.
I was like, yes, of course.
No.
But I don't know if Andrew Wiggins is or not.
Does he play for the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah.
Then
well,
yes.
then yes, he is a champion.
Doesn't he?
Yes.
This is where you come. Who's listening to 101?
Hopefully they didn't just tune over for this.
Yeah, let's see
what
going
the Annie
on.
Frey Show is
Well,
like.
they're talking about the NBA, they think.
Ooh, man.
Not so good.
Thought they had some knowledge. Certainly not about that. Not about the NBA. Because sports we're actually okay on. Baseball, we're not bad.
No,
Hockey,
baseball.
we're okay.
Stop it. Baseball. We could do a whole baseball show.
We absolutely
I don't. You would be there for
color commentary.
generally. Why is it got to be about
NBA?
color?
Nothing.
No. I'd take an NBA team here.
Yeah, so would I. But
I wouldn't.
No, really?
I don't.
I mean,
like
I do enjoy
basketball.
college ball more than NBA in general.
I
But
don't even like college ball. But college ball to me is more entertaining.
Don't like college ball. You won. You got third place in the Red
yeah.
Wings poll.
Or being good at it
Cool.
and not liking it are two different things.
Oh, Ryan.
all right, let's talk about some tiny bubbles.
Change the subject. Tiny bubbles.
Yeah. Do you know where this is going? Because it's disconnect between journalists and everybody else. Because they live in tiny bubbles, according to Pew.
I'm really hoping that you can bring it together.
I will
for the show.
Yeah, so we're talking about
Because the
Pew
NBA thing
research
wasn't
here.
really working
No,
for us.
No. 65% of nearly 12,000 journalists surveyed in this survey. I mean, that's a broad and great sample size.
Who knew we had 12,000
Yeah, I didn't even know we
journalists?
had 12,000 journalists in the United States.
What percent?
65% say the media does a solid job of covering the most important stories of the day.
So 65% of the media says the media. So 35% of the media doesn't necessarily think home
Right?
run.
Wait,
Right?
Is it 65% an F?
Yes. Yeah, I think 65 is right on the line between D and F. So they're giving themselves 65%, roughly maybe a D minus on how they're covering the most important stories of the day. And that's got to be basically every journalist in the country, 12,000 people. But a
They
solid
didn't
majority.
ask us. They probably were listening to the beginning of the show.
These people aren't
Hey,
journalists.
let's get the Yeah, scratch
Never
that.
mind.
Let's move on to the Reardon Show.
But a solid majority of Americans have the almost equal but opposite view. 35% of Americans feel that journalists cover the most important stories of the day without an agenda. That's a 30
Without
point
an agenda.
perception gap. So the people in the industry think they're doing better by 30 points than the people that they're claiming to serve.
If you are absent of editorial in your reporting, it's perceived to be conservative.
That's correct. Yeah, if there's no bias in it, oh man, they must lean right. Like Real Clear Politics, for instance. That site has for years attempted to be right down the middle. The Hill has too, no, but they've drifted left.
Every single one of those media things where they put all the media outlets into columns and say, this one's
Yeah.
totally far left and these are totally far right, slightly left, slightly right, down the middle. They always say the Hill is in center.
They do.
And if you ask people on the right, they think the Hill has moved to the left. And if you asked people on the left, they would say the Hill is totally conservative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they try to be in the middle.
I want less words in my news reports.
You know what I've really enjoyed is outlets that will publish just transcripts of interviews.
Yeah.
You talk to the president, you just tell me exactly what the journalist said, exactly what the president said.
Not that you
That's
can't,
it.
through phrasing, elicit bias.
No, but
But,
at least you
yeah.
can see it.
You know, and not to push you to go listen to our podcast right now, although you should. We interviewed Richard Irvin, who's running for governor. We interviewed him yesterday at 12:25, and I asked him how many times, 4 times, if he voted for Trump.
At least three or four. Yeah.
If he voted for Trump in 2016 or 2020, and he responded every time saying that he voted Republican in both of those elections. So he never said yes. And I had multiple people say, "Oh, I couldn't believe he didn't answer the question." And I had other people message me and say, "I can't believe you didn't make him say no." Like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't believe it's my job to make him say something. His job, my job is to ask questions of anybody who comes on the show and give them the opportunity to respond. And if I think it warrants further clarification, to ask a clarifying question. And if it gets jumbled up, to simplify it so much that, to me, if you answer that same question 4 times and you don't say, "Yes, I voted for Trump," then you're saying, "No, you didn't." And that is an answer in and of itself. And a transcript of something, like, I don't think you need me to say whether or not I think he voted for Trump or not in order for you to be intelligent enough to hear the exact same thing that I heard and deduce whatever it is that you think happened. And as we said yesterday, in the case of Richard Irvin, people were like, "Oh, some people were like, that's going to end his campaign because he wouldn't say he voted for Trump." Not necessarily at all. There are a lot of people who would hear that and go, he won't say he voted for Trump. I like that. Maybe I'll vote for him. I don't know that that's the large part of this particular audience, but on the whole, if he comes on my show and says, "Absolutely, I voted for Donald Trump," then what's JB Pritzker going to play for the next 120 days after the primary is Richard Irvin's a Trump guy. So it's all politics.
Clearly, it's a strategic answer.
Yeah.
Because he answered the same way 3 times. He had the same answer.
Yeah,
So
he views it as a liability to answer that question with a yes or no.
just to round out, there's a whole bunch of numbers here that I found very interesting. But in 2002, the number of journalists who identified as Republican, 18%. By 2013, that had fallen to 7%. That's almost 10 years ago.
So when was the 18%?
2002.
Wow.
By 2013, 7% identified as Republicans. Now, and that was all pre-Donald Trump. Can you imagine what that number is now? It's probably less than 7% of all journalists identify as Republican.
Man. Folks, I truly believe we are in for a conservative renaissance. That the three of us here, we were born in the Reagan era. We didn't live it. And we didn't live the thing that made the conservative renaissance in the 80s so great. We didn't live the Carter years that made it so bad.
That's true.
So hold on tight, folks. I think something good's coming. Stick around. We got Deroy Murdock in a minute.
To Collinsville, to Cottleville, Clayton, to Creve Coeur, your city, and more. Webster to Wildwood, the one you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000. Aren't you tired of hearing ads that say they're the best, they're the experts, blah, 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 just one unsubstantiated claim after another? Well, here are two substantiated claims that actually mean something if you need roof repair or a new roof. With a family-owned business tradition of over 80 years and 80,000 satisfied customers, you can depend on Frederick Roofing, residential or commercial.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
This is Judge Mike Carter. As the judge of Wentzville and an attorney, I've had the honor of working with Lincoln County Prosecutor Mike Wood and St. Charles Prosecutor Tim Lomar. We all share a great respect for the rule of law and keeping our families and communities safe. As your next Republican state senator, I'll oppose those who want to defund and tie the hands of our police. I'll protect our Second Amendment rights and see that strong laws are in place to dissuade those who think they can come here to break into your car or home. I'm Mike Carter, and I want to earn your vote to be your Republican state senator. This is Judge Mike Carter, Republican candidate for the new 10th District State Senate seat. I believe strongly, as I know you do, in safeguarding our personal freedoms and securing our rights as guaranteed under the Constitution. I'll put my knowledge and experience to work for you, protecting those rights, opposing tax hikes, keeping families safe by opposing those who want to defund the police, making small businesses and family farms a priority, and safeguarding our Second Amendment. I'm Mike Carter, and I hope to earn your vote to be your next Republican state senator. Go to MikeCarter.com to learn more. Paid for by me, Mike Carter.
Replacing your windows should be stress-free and add value to your home. Infinity from Marvin Windows are your best choice. Made with Ultrex fiberglass, 8 times stronger than vinyl, low maintenance and available in many colors. And we leave your home spotless. Schedule your free design consultation by calling Lakeside Renovation and Design at 636-978-5000 or online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
Summertime is no time to run out of energy, guys, and Victory Men's Health can help. Mark Cox here. Book your appointment today at any of their 3 locations. They're now in Winghaven in O'Fallon, Missouri. They're in Town and Country in the original location in O'Fallon, Illinois. Victory Men's Health has 400 plus 5-star Google reviews. There isn't another men's clinic in town that comes close to that kind of rating. Book your appointment today online at victorymenshealth.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A federal gas tax holiday. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden this afternoon expects to announce a proposal to temporarily lower gas prices as he urges Congress
to suspend the federal gas tax for 3 months. Right now, that tax is 18 cents a gallon for regular, and there's a 24-cent tax per gallon on diesel.
Fox's Jill Nato. Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn says the administration should instead focus on increasing domestic oil production as a way to lower gas costs.
President Biden, unfortunately, has been captured by people who have unrealistic ideas about what our energy needs are.
Critics say a temporary suspension of the federal gas and diesel taxes won't save consumers much money, and there's no guarantee that the savings will be passed along to drivers. Ukraine's deputy prime minister today saying she's 100% certain that all 27 European Union nations will make her country a membership candidate. She says the decision could come as soon as tomorrow as the bloc holds a summit in Brussels, Belgium. The Federal Reserve is expected to continue raising its benchmark interest rate in an effort to combat inflation.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says there needs to be compelling evidence of an inflation slowdown before they will consider changing their strategy of raising interest rates.
We are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down, and we're moving expeditiously to do so.
The Fed raised rates by 0.75 of a percentage point last week. It's the largest increase since 1994.
Fox's Ginny Casola. Some critics say they're concerned raising interest rates could trigger a recession. The Biden administration announcing today that it's providing logistical support to import the equivalent of about 16 million 8-ounce baby formula bottles from Mexico starting this weekend. It's part of the White House efforts to ease nationwide supply shortages caused by the closure of the largest U.S. manufacturing plant. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with expertise and tools with Windows 11 to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. To do more with a Latitude laptop, Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Giving it your all on the court? Make sure you have the right partner by your side. Highland's Leg Cramps Quick Dissolve Tablets, America's #1 leg cramp relief solution for over 10 years. No water needed, no stomach upset, just fast, effective relief. Also available in caplets. Highland's Leg Cramps, to healthy competition and beyond. Available at Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS. Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
90 to 95 degrees for the high temperature this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, hot and humid. Just a tiny chance of a spot thunderstorm. Tough to find tonight. Clear skies. A slow drop in the humidity, but it's going to take much of the night. 69. Thursday, sunny. Great day. Less humid. 90 degrees. Jump it to 95 Friday, jump it to 100 on Saturday, and then a fall, less humid, and 85 on Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Right here, right now. Here's 97.1 Insider Jesse Jane Duff.
We've got Supreme Court justices with their lives being threatened, and we have had little or no coverage on the major news networks, NBC, ABC, CBS, about the Supreme Court justice who had an assassination attempt against him. It was like item number 23 in the Washington Post.
It's happening right here, right now, where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 22nd, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your ED without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's worth $1,000, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Listen on the Odyssey app and rewind whenever you'd like. Or catch up on entire shows within 24 hours of air. 97.1 FM Talk. Experience the rewind with the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is anchor man, not anchor lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Under Trump, we averaged 3 known suspected terrorists on the screening on FBI screening database a year. 3. Joe Biden's already got 50 in a year and a half. So it's opening up to fentanyl. It's opening up to criminals. It's opening up to gang members. It's opening up to known suspected terrorists when they come to this country. This immigration crisis has quickly turned into national security crisis.
You know, we spent more time talking about whether or not our border agents were whipping people and being punitive towards them than we even actually talk about any, at least from the administration's point of view, any of the problems of the people who are flooding across the southern border into our country. We basically detain them for a second and then we put them on a plane, fly them to somewhere inside the country, and then they get on a charter bus, and then what happens next? I don't know that anybody knows. But wait, let's talk about how the border agents are whipping. Oh, wait, that didn't actually happen. I'm glad they made as big of a deal about the fact that it didn't happen as they did when they just assumed the reports that it did. Does this Biden administration even know what's going on the southern border, or did they create this on purpose? Let's ask our friend Deroy Murdock. He's a Fox News contributor, and he has a piece in the American Spectator today about this very issue. Deroy, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
And it's great to talk to you again.
So, you know, it's instance after instance after instance. It's not just on the southern border, but this administration and the people who follow and support this administration are obsessed with protecting people who break the law and obsessed with punishing the people who enforce the law.
Yeah, I mean, you see it certainly on the border, as you mentioned. We'll probably discuss in greater detail. You see it in your city of St. Louis, my city of New York, San Francisco, Chicago, DC, LA, et cetera, where these prosecutors seem much more interested in taking care of victims than taking care of perpetrators. You've got liberal and left-wing judges who are letting all sorts of people out early or just giving me a little pats on the wrist. Off they go. And guess what? So often they go back to violent crime and they injure, wound, rape, rob, or kill people over and over and over. I mean, the left pushes things that can be kind of wasteful of money or perhaps not efficient. That's bad enough. But in this instance, these policies are leading to people getting raped, wounded, and killed, and it has to stop at once.
Yeah, absolutely. Deroy Murdock with us right now. I mean, we're seeing in San Francisco lots of pressure on the LA prosecutor there, these Soros-funded DAs that are around the country with a very consistent and concise methodology, and it is not to protect the communities. How did we get to the point where this consistency has been so prevalent in our country?
Well, I don't think it's at all by accident. You mentioned, George Soros, the almost James Bond villain-like character who had a very ugly history in World War II, by the way. You might look that up at some point. And he's a multi-billionaire, and he gives a lot of money to far, far left, I'd say even Marxist-type organizations. And he got the brilliant idea from his perspective, hey, let me put money in to back people for DA's races. And he funded people like George Gascon, who is soon may face a recall in Los Angeles. Chesa Boudin, the son of two Weather Underground terrorists, I mean, literally the child of terrorists, who was just recalled a couple weeks ago in San Francisco. We've got Kim Foxx in Chicago. We've got Alvin Bragg here in Manhattan. You have one in St. Louis as well. And the whole attitude of these people is essentially that the criminal justice system is racist. It's an instrument of white supremacy and white nationalism, and those people are stuck in it, are victims, and need to be liberated and emancipated as soon as they can. And their attitude is, sorry to arrest you, back you go. And very often these guys get into office and they will announce right when they get there, here are the 12 or 15 crimes we will not prosecute anymore. Guess what happens? People commit those crimes, and the chaos usually just proceeds from there.
You know, Deroy, when they announce that they're not going to prosecute these crimes, the communities become rapidly less safe. But it also becomes incredibly not safe to be in law enforcement. What is with the consistency with the far left progressives that are in power all the way up to the president of the United States and their disgust for our law enforcement community?
Yeah, I think disgust is exactly the right word. You know, you've got, like in this piece I wrote for American Spectator, you have these Border Patrol agents who are on horseback trying to keep these Haitians from coming up across the Rio Grande and invading the country in Texas. And they use reins to motivate, if that's the right word, their horses when they were patrolling on horseback. And people said, oh my God, they're whipping the Haitians. It's just like slavery. It's like going back to the days of the South before the Civil War. This is garbage. The Inspector General looked into it and determined this didn't take place. Lawyers for the Biden administration actually responded to a lawsuit by a bunch of Haitians who were complaining about their injuries there. The lawyers from the Biden administration came out and said, no, these people were not treated any differently than anyone else. There was no discrimination against them. And yet, despite all that, here comes Joe Biden saying, well, we're still going to punish these guys, even though they were exonerated, even though in court a couple of their lawyers pleaded that these people did nothing wrong, and Biden just has it, under his skin that he's going to hurt these guys because he's got to put them in their place, and they're pursuing administrative, not criminal, but administrative punishment of them. I mean, it's astonishing, and I think there's really something truly totalitarian and disgusting about this kind of behavior. And it's all of a piece, which is to shun law enforcement and embrace criminals and lawbreakers.
Deroy Murdock with us right now, Fox News contributor, is with us each week here on the Annie Frey Show on Wednesdays. I think about the border is a great example of it, but it's much bigger than that. A lot of the policies that have been put in place by these far left progressives, they have started on a very local level. And these are seeds that have been sown a while ago, and they're starting to grow in some cases in a way that seems like they're going to be hard to contain. And if we were to, say, win the presidency back in the Republican Party in 2024, we're far, far, far away from that date. And you think about these far left progressive regions or the activity that's taking place on the southern border, by the time we've identified the problem and the massive nature of the problem, it's almost, in the border's instance, too big to contain at this point.
Well, it's enormous. I have in this piece I did for the American Spectator, which is on our website, and you can take a look at this and see that under Biden for his first 16 months, we've had almost 2.98 million illegal alien southwestern border apprehensions. In the final 16 months of the Trump presidency, that number was 754,000. That's an increase of 394%. Joe Biden almost has quadrupled the number of illegal aliens who've been apprehended on the southern border. And I think the goal there is to let as many of these people in, let them come in the United States. Once they're here, they're going to be here for good. And I think the hope is that these people will vote Democrat and that this will just increase their numbers in the swing states. If you add up all these folks who've been apprehended, the total number it actually exceeds the populations of Alaska, North Dakota, Vermont, and Wyoming. And if they form their own separate state, they would be about the size of Kansas. They would have 2 U.S. senators and 4 U.S. House representatives. And I think that's the entire point of this exercise.
Deroy Murdock with us right now. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk to you about how the state of the country right now. There's no news station, there's no Annie Frey show that you have to turn on to look around and go, this is not good. Things are not going in the right direction. People feel this every day in their, every normal existence, average lives. And we have a midterm, 139 days away for right now. We could have a humongous advantage in the Republican House. We won't have a veto-proof majority in the Senate for the Republicans. What do you want to see if the tides turn and Congress gets put into the hands of the Republican Party? What do you want to see for 2 years when the Oval Office still belongs to Joe Biden?
Well, what I want to see is the Republicans stand up to Biden and block his efforts to rip the border open, spend tons of money, regulate us into the ground, destroy energy. And energy independence is gone. It's now energy dependence and lack of energy. I mean, they're talking about rolling blackouts now. And I assume that they will veto his bad ideas. And if they can, and if he's open to it, sit down with him and say, look, we're in charge here for 2 years. Do you want to get anything positive accomplished, or do you just want us to block every rotten idea you have? And maybe if Biden's smart, he'll say, look, Will, I'm not necessarily going to sign on to a 10% flat tax, which I would love to see, but maybe there's some reasonable areas where they can compromise and do some things that are positive. But if Biden isn't prepared to do that, then I think the GOP just needs to fight a defensive action and basically block his efforts to socialize this country, and hope that in 2024 we get either Donald J. Trump or Ron DeSantis or some other Republican in the White House maintain the GOP in the Congress, and then we actually can begin to clean up the tremendous damage that Biden and the far left Democrats have done just in less than 18 months.
David Axelrod, among other Democrats, are suggesting that maybe Gavin Newsom is the new face of the Democratic Party. Such success he's had there in California. I'm sure he would love to make the entire United States go the way of California. How does that, if it's not Joe Biden, I think we can all assume that that's not going to be the case. If it's not Joe Biden and it's Gavin Newsom, what does the Democratic Party represent?
Gavin Newsom is the left has been very clever about getting people to run for office Gavin Newsom looks tall, handsome, well-dressed. He looks like the head of the Rotary Club or something like that. So he doesn't appear to be anywhere as left as he is, which is far, far, far left. And you look at what's going on in California, from critical race theory, from tremendous spending, from all kinds of regulations. The border in California is not secure either. This is a far left government. I would describe him as probably a democratic socialist, if not a neo-Marxist. He is appealing. He comes across well. He's certainly coming in from California, would walk in with a lot of money and the ability to raise a lot of money. So he would be formidable, but the idea that he's going to come in and be any kind of a moderate or centrist or anything other than a far left Democrat is a complete fantasy.
Deroy, thank you so much for coming on with us. We're going to share this article that you have written that people can check out in the American Spectator. We love your writing. We love having you on the show with us here. So thank you so much.
All right, Annie. Thank you very much.
I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye. Deroy Murdock, Fox News contributor right there. I mean, it is the consistency. And I think this is one of the things, aside from all of the economic woes that Americans are facing right now, but Brad, the consistency of the political alignment of supporting true victims and victimizers who are misunderstood. That is a huge divider of people.
It's a huge divider of people. Like, one of the things I was thinking about as you were doing that interview, and I didn't get a chance to kind of get this question to you, but I was wondering what Deroy thought on the fact that, like, whenever you look at how the Biden administration treats illegal aliens coming across the border, do they think that they're actually breaking a law? Or are they looking at them saying these are all asylum seekers and they're coming into the United States in the only way that they know how? And that's why we're letting them go and giving them those asylum court dates.
It's kind of like when you are a child and you cover your ears and you close your eyes. And when you do that, it's not happening.
Right.
That's kind of what they're doing.
Or you hide behind the curtain, but your feet are showing.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way that an average educated person can look at what's taking place and not go, this could be a problem.
Yeah.
Everybody can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I think too, we suffer from this like ideological echo chambers and confirmation bias. And so they've told themselves over and over and over and over and over again that this is a good thing. And they can't possibly even look at the other side of it and see where maybe this isn't a good thing. They're incapable of seeing
it. You're talking about this in the terms of reality and common sense.
Right.
your good in this is or isn't a good thing is not the same goal that they have.
That's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they have looked at they have looked at this and what they see is the same kind of person. Everybody that comes across the border in their mind and their brain is these are asylum seekers who are fleeing that just want a better life. I'm not saying that there aren't those people in the people crossing the border illegally, but they're incapable of also seeing the bad actors in this. They're incapable of seeing the bad actors and getting the good people across, as far as like the coyotes and the cartels and the human trafficking that goes on. They're incapable of seeing that. All they see is we're getting these good people across the border so they can become part of the United States.
I just don't think that it's a matter of incapability. I think they're fully aware. I don't think that this is incompetence in any way, shape, or form. I think they know exactly what's going on, and there's cause and effect, and the effect that they are working to achieve, they are. And you can be the judge, Brad. I can be the judge myself. You and I will come to the same conclusion on that. But our basis for judging that situation is not, we're playing on a different playing field because the effect of what they're trying to achieve is working. If it wasn't, they would change it. There's a million different ways they could change it. They're so engrossed and enveloped in identity politics that I actually think their move could certainly backfire. This could, their identity politics, die on that hill mentality could backfire in a massive way. And just look at the polling numbers. I mean, people coming from Mexico and Central America, these are Latinos, and they are moving away from the Democratic Party. They're still fleeing something that is tyrannical and towards something that they believe involves freedom and liberty, and the bad actors are mixed in.
Yep.
They're not all good guys, but they certainly aren't all bad guys.
Right.
Just because, I mean, they are breaking the law when they come here. So if you want to say, Annie, they're all breaking the law, they're all bad guys. Well, I'm talking like in the context of outside of that particular instance. They shouldn't be allowed to come here if they don't get in line. Bottom line. Don't confuse my position on this. But if these people continue to come to this country and in the meantime, the Biden administration successfully completes the fundamental transformation of the United States of America, and they get here and they go, well, wait a second, this is what we just fled, and now you're doing this here, and you think you're going to do it on our backs?
Yeah. I mean, we just elected the first female Mexican-born representative in the United States Congress, and she was a Republican.
Just saying. Yeah. I don't know. I think that the identity politics mentality is not for long. I think that people are tired of it. It's exhausting, and good people are very tired of being labeled as horrible people just for the sake of scoring a political point.
Absolutely.
We're
I'm
kind
so
of
tired of
done with it.
Done.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. Eric Schmitt's going to join us when we come back. The Senate has legislation in hand, text in hand, to a gun reform package. What does this gun reform package entail? And is it something that the Attorney General of the state of Missouri believes is constitutional and lawful? Is it something he'd support if he were in the Senate? We'll talk to Eric Schmitt about it in just a minute. Don't go away.
Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change, they pull us apart. Wanna like it in your heart.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022. Coverage sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
The Closet Factory, online at closetfactory.com. I want you to introduce yourself to Closet Factory because I know they can't wait to meet you for your customized storage solution in your home. When they come in and see the area that you want to improve, doesn't have to be a disaster area, but you know that you could get more out of this space in your home. You reach out to Closet Factory, and this family-owned and operated St. Louis business going to come provide you that free consultation and give you the information that you need in order to transform that home to the nines. You are going to love what they can do. They can go, if you're looking to be, more budget conscious and you want it to be fully functional, but don't really care about all the trim and stuff that goes around it. That's what we did in our master closet and my kiddo's closet. You can do that. But if you want to create the most beautiful built-in shelving in your entertaining space that it's going to be the show-stopping part of the inside of your home, they can do that too. They've got all of the solutions available for you at Closet Factory. And if you want to know more, reach out to them. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. 314-961-4300. 314-961-4300. You can find them online at closetfactory.com.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call Attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Did you know there's a Space Channel?
One of the most exciting projects in the solar system.
Space Channel's got movies, original series, news, music, and so much more.
We have come to visit you in peace. Now we're getting to what they call the moment of truth.
Download the Space Channel app on your connected TVs and mobile devices. Just go to the App Store and search Space Channel. Do it now. It's free.
Space Channel, front row seat to the final frontier.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby, only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt.
Did I just hear a car door slam?
Oh, no. It's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the move.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Home values are through the roof with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. And here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of. Travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Truehold.com.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
And the motion is agreed to.
With a 64-34 vote, the Senate has taken the first steps towards passing new gun control measures.
I am pleased Congress is on the path to take meaningful action to address gun violence for the first time in nearly 30 years.
The bipartisan deal expands background checks for people under 21, giving up to 10 business days to review juvenile and mental health records. It provides money for states to enact red flag laws, which allows courts to seize guns from people deemed dangerous. And it closes the so-called boyfriend loophole, preventing partners convicted of domestic abuse that live outside a victim's home from buying a gun.
Someone who has never been convicted of a violent crime or adjudicated as mentally ill will not have their rights affected.
So
One iota.
Mitch McConnell there speaking on Chuck Schumer as well in the CBS report about the bill text, the legislation from the Senate to try to, in their words, address gun violence. I heard a few words in their background checks from with juvenile records up to 21 and red flag laws. Man, that is definitely a red flag law is something that is red flag in and of itself. When people talk about that, people immediately run to their corners. They also called the boyfriend loophole, which to me, just aside from the actual legislation, is surprising to me that they would gender something like that. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk to Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt about the constitutionality of what he has seen so far in this bill and if it's something that he could support. Eric Schmitt, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Great to be with you, Annie.
So I don't know how much you've been able to read this 80-plus page bill, but you're a master of the Constitution. You are an authority on the law here, specifically in the state of Missouri. Tell us your thoughts on this bill.
The bill's a disaster, and they shouldn't have moved forward on it. And they moved on, the cover of darkness there with, my understanding is nobody really had much time to read it. I guess we're back in the, hello?
Yep. Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear us?
I guess, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. So I guess we're back in the phase of Nancy Pelosi, where you have to pass the bill in order to know what's in it. And I think it's very unfortunate, and I would not have supported it. I'm very disappointed. I can't believe Republicans would have gone along with the idea of red flag laws, which are nothing more than a green light for gun confiscation. That's the truth. And they are ripe for abuse. And if we don't think that the same people who were trying to get people fired for not being vaccinated, or the same people who are trying to get people fired because they won't bow to some woke ideology, aren't going to weaponize red flag laws and take guns away from law-abiding citizens who they have disagreements with, we're fooling ourselves. And so this is a big open door for that kind of abuse. I would not have supported it. I think it's a disaster and shameful. As somebody who believes in the Second Amendment, has been supported by those who stand by the Second Amendment and what it means, which is a God-given right that you're allowed to protect yourself and your family and your property, to have those fundamental rights disregarded. In addition, another fundamental right, which is the right to due process. And this is the real problem with red flag laws. There is no red flag law you can find that will not deny somebody the right to have something like this fully adjudicated. You wouldn't need it because once something's fully adjudicated and you've been convicted of a felony, you're not allowed to own a firearm anyway. So this is about jumping the gun, for lack of a better term, right? And taking guns away from people who've not been convicted of something. And it's a very dangerous road to head down.
Eric Schmitt with us right now, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. I want to give you the opportunity to break it down even further from there, because a lot of times, especially people here in our industry and conservative talk radio, we just assume people are steeped in this stuff all of the time. But we hear red flag laws, and that's always the big sore thumb that sticks out in these types of conversations, especially considering they'll say, we didn't do anything that keeps anybody from their Second Amendment rights. But a red flag law does keep somebody who has not been prosecuted and found guilty for something from their Second Amendment rights. Can you explain to me, even in an example form, what a red flag law would do to limit somebody's ability to exercise their Second Amendment rights?
Somebody who would be accused of being dangerous, right? That accusation alone, without the conviction, is enough for guns to be confiscated. Right. And then the burden shifts. So then the person who's had their Second Amendment rights changed, the burden shifts to them to go try to get them back. And that's just not that's not our justice system in this country. I mean, we believe that, people should have their day in the court. They should have the ability to cross-examine. All these things are fully adjudicated before there's a final result. This, flips that and says that, essentially gun confiscation will be legal if there's this accusation. And who's deciding whether it's credible before you get there is also very vague. And so, what the Senate did is they're saying, well, we didn't actually move forward with red flag laws. We're providing a financial incentive for states to go do that. Well, there's no parameters in these states. It's particularly blue states. I mean, I don't think Missouri is going to move forward, not if I have anything to do with it, with any red flag laws. But you're going to have potentially half the country be subjected to this arbitrary process where political opponents, by the way, You've got people trying to deplatform folks who, we've been told, Annie, by the way, that words are violence.
Yeah.
The last few years, we've been told words are violence. Well, somebody has something on Twitter that somebody doesn't like, all of a sudden, a red flag law, and then that person's got to deal with it. And again, this is the same regime that wanted a ministry of truth, right? To decide who can say what. And this is the path that tyrants go down. And the first thing they do is try to take people's ability to speak out against the government. They try to take guns away. And so we're headed down and disarm the citizenry. And in this country, we believe those rights are fundamental. We believe in due process. And that's why it's such an affront, these red flag laws. They just have a hard stop on this, a hard pass, full stop, no way, not going there. Because in the other thing that's interesting, Annie, is this comes to the backdrop. In the next 10 days, the Supreme Court of the United States is likely going to issue a ruling that Missouri was the lead. We filed the brief for. It's New York pistol and rifle case. In the state of New York, Missouri were constitutional carry. I voted for that. It's one of the reasons I have an A+ rating from the NRA and supported by a lot of Second Amendment groups in my Senate run, because I believe that that's a fundamental right. In the state of New York, you have to go to a bureaucrat and prove to that bureaucrat, okay, and that person's decision-making, that you're in danger or you have a special need or at risk in order to have a concealed carry permit in that state, okay? And so that is being challenged. The constitutionality that's being challenged. I think we're going to win that case because the court's going to hold, hey, this is a fundamental right that can't be subjected to that kind of arbitrary and capriciousness. Meanwhile, so all that's happening, going to happen in the next 10 days, and you compare that with what the Senate's moving forward with now, including 10 Republicans, that green light, red flag laws, they don't make any sense. They're inconsistent, and that's why it's a problem.
I couldn't agree with you more. Speaking with Eric Schmitt right now, Missouri Attorney General candidate for United States Senate, for Missourians to consider voting for on the August 2nd Missouri primary. The Fifth Amendment says that the federal government, that no one shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. It seems to me that a red flag law, it keeps somebody from due process. So it seems to me that a red flag law would simply be unconstitutional. Is this something that the federal government can even engage upon?
No, they can't. I think what they're trying to do is sidestep that by saying we're not actually doing it. We're funding states to go do it, which again, those state laws would be subject to constitutional challenge too. You can't, again, kind of outsource the illegal activity to states and pay for it, which is what they're trying to do. And again, we see this kind of the strings attached with funding, and it's always a problem. I mean, we joined a bunch of other states last week in pushing back against the Department of Education, who's now trying to tie school lunch programs, right? The lunch program that we have in our schools, to forcing school districts to abide by this woke gender ideology, whether it's bathrooms or instruction materials. I mean, they're tying all this stuff together. So once you can't give them an inch because they'll take a mile. And, we're pushing back on that on a number of fronts. And this just opens the door on the Second Amendment infringements.
I'm listening to the way you're speaking about this. And one of the reasons we wanted you to come on and talk to us today is because we know that you know the law. And if you're going to become a legislator in the Senate, it helps to know the law, because what we hear, the people who are going to talk about this bill, you stated it there for a second, you're going to hear people say, this doesn't include red flag laws. This doesn't make red flag laws legislation. That's not in here, because they're funding the states to do the very same thing. So it allows them to say a sentence that still lets them sleep okay at night, but it still pushes us in the direction of that. And, thinking about education and schools and all that, there is so much at stake for the United States of America in this coming midterm election.
No doubt about it. And you want to have proven conservative fighters, Annie, not just people who talk about stuff, who have been super ineffective, who have terrible voting records in Congress. And those are the folks that I'm running against. I mean, you got somebody who quit on this state who all of a sudden's got a lot to say. He's got a lot to say. But when it came time to really fight back and push back, he took a knee and he quit. And I'm never going to quit on the state. I mean, we're in the mix. I mean, that theme song, I love the intro because can't stop, won't stop. I mean, I am going to the United States Senate. I don't care if I'm popular. I don't care if I get invited to cocktail parties. That doesn't interest me. I think the republic's on the line. All the things that we care about, the greatest country in the history of the world. We believe in self-government. And Congress has passed the buck, not just on this issue, but they do it all the time too. They say, I voted for the greatest bill in the world, but I can't believe the EPA is doing all this bad stuff. Well, you gave the EPA a lot of the authority to go do it. And so we got to have people who are going to stand up and fight back, understand the stakes. And that's been my record. I mean, look, just last week, we issued 7 subpoenas to 7 school districts across the state that are asking kids invasive questions about their parents. They've outsourced these diversity, equity, inclusion consultants, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars to ask questions like, what are your parents' political beliefs? How much do your parents make? Questions about your sexuality. Get this crap out of our schools.
Amen.
You know, there's schools through the student portal where kids in Wentzville are being they're being forced to, in front of their classmates, do something called the privilege walk. Okay. This stuff is crazy. And I get a lot of heat for it. I don't care, because that's my job, is to uphold the Constitution and fight for the people of the state. That's what I've done as AG. That's what I'm going to do in the Senate.
Eric Schmitt joining us. You referenced Eric Greitens, who is also in this race for Senate in the primary, and he's got a campaign ad out right now that talks about hunting rhinos. And I don't know if he considers, I haven't seen the ad myself, but I don't know if he considers you to be a rhino. You have some harsh words to say about his previous representation for the state of Missouri. From when I see polls, I see him on the top from time to time. I don't know what the current polls say right now, but how are you going to beat him in this primary to enter the Senate in the general?
Well, look, the race is coming into focus here. We're 41 days away from Election Day. And I think after the 4th of July, typically in primaries, people pay a lot more attention. There's polls that have us ahead. And I think as this race continues to get more dynamic, people are going to be presented with a choice, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be, are you going to choose the fighter or are you going to choose the quitter? And I think I know how Missourians feel about that. And they don't have to guess where I'm at on positions. You know, I've been very upfront and fought toe-to-toe with the Biden administration, mass policies, woke ideology, you name the fight. I'm in the middle of that fight. That's what people want. They don't want somebody who's taking a knee and, you know, throws out bombastic videos for attention for somebody's ego.
Eric Schmitt, before I let you go, a lot of people assume that whoever wins the Republican primary will win that seat. Do you believe that to be the case?
Nope, I don't. And the polls reflect that. I mean, Greitens will lose the seat. Everybody, I mean, people are paying attention to the polls. They see that. But when I win the primary, this thing's not even going to be close. We'll take the fight to whoever that Democrat is, and we'll win by a big margin. And people nationally can focus on places like Arizona and Georgia and Pennsylvania instead of worrying about a place like Missouri that they shouldn't have to worry about. I mean, these Senate races are typically closer than people think. I mean, Josh Hawley won by 6, Roy Blunt won by 3.5, 2.5 a few years ago. These are typically, you know, closer elections. We can't put Missouri at risk. It's a 50-50 Senate, and there's no math that gets you to 51 if you don't hold Missouri. And I think that's another thing that people recognize with my candidacy, the strongest possible candidate in this field that's going to win the primary and go win the general.
Yeah, I have to say, as an Illinois resident, the Missouri Republican Senate seat is such an important seat for the nation. It's not just for the people here listening who can vote for you or for another candidate in that Republican primary on August 2nd. It is necessary for the future of this country that it stays red. Eric Schmitt, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Your insight is important. We're going to have you back again soon.
Good to be with you, Annie.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. At Eric_Schmitt on Twitter, schmittforsenate.com if you want to learn more about his Senate candidacy. And, listening to him talk about the contents of this bill and the red flag law enabling that it does is concerning. It's going to be concerning to a lot of people. And if there are Republicans that are voting in favor of this bill and they're not hearing from their constituents, even if they are retiring, then if, like I said in the beginning of the show, if you're not acting, if you're sitting idly by, then we're part of our own problem. Let's try to be part of the solution. Eric Schmitt with us just there, and saying too, interesting to hear him say if Greitens wins the primary, he will lose the race. He will lose to a Democrat. That would be bad. Curious what your thoughts are. Would love your feedback. Reach us out on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat and tell us what you think about that poll. Vicky Hartzler polling very well as well, pretty consistently, has been a frequent guest of this show. And I'm very curious how this race is going to turn out. Like you said, what do you say, 40 days or so?
41 or 42.
Okay. So August 2nd, right around the corner. Make sure that you are prepared to vote in that and be heard. Let's take a quick break. We're going to have more Annie Frey show around the corner. The YouTube live chat poll. If you're coming to give us your thoughts on that Missouri Senate primary in the comments, would love to see that. Go vote in the poll that's right there in the live chat on the YouTube channel. Will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? Hope to get a big turnout in this poll, which will enable us to think we're going to get a big turnout when the primaries actually get here. More Annie Frey Show in a minute. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. The Mark Reardon Show.
Have you been watching the January 6 hearings?
What happened was absolutely terrible. It should never happen again. Should it be a spectacle? No.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group, folks, these folks know how to make you feel comfortable going into retirement. If you're like me and you're in your 30s, that's not exactly who the Retirement Advisory Group is focusing on. If you're in your mid-50s, retirement is around the corner, or at least you always hoped it would be right around the corner. And now you're going, oh, gosh, I don't even really know if I'm going to be able to do this the way I thought. Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw and the family business at Retirement Advisory Group is waiting for your phone call. Get rid of the anxiety that comes along with worrying about what you don't know. That's where worry comes from, right? It's the absence of knowing what's going to happen or what the truth is. You can figure out the plan and become one of the many clients that Thomas Helbig has that has never lost a penny. Get your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Reach out to Thomas Helbig, mention the Annie Frey Show when you do, and get your appointment scheduled. You can find him online at retirementkey.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MONEY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MONEY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code MONEY.
Wherever you live, from Bridgeton to Baldwin, Brentwood to Kirkwood, St. Anne to St. Charles, wherever you live. Hazelwood to Maplewood, the name you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
St. Louis, 314-645-2000.
Frederick is the gold standard for roofing and perhaps priced a bit lower than other bonded and insured roofers. When you invest money into fixing a hole in your roof or putting on a whole new roof, you want the peace of mind that you'll get only with Frederick Roofing. Plus, you can always depend on an immaculate cleanup when the job has been completed by Frederick's own licensed and insured crews.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org, and for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
full moon shining bright. Edge of the water, we were feeling all right. Back down a country road.
This
Girls
is the
are
Annie
always
Frey
hot and
Show.
the beer is ice cold.
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Have you voted in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll yet? Go do it right now. Just type in Annie Frey, Frey, on your YouTube search bar, and you'll see that we're live and you can vote in the poll. And the poll is, will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? It's very, very simple. I came across this sound. I'm glad that Brad just reminded me of it because it's so funny. Justin Trudeau is being asked a question. This is just so stupid. I don't even want to preface it. This is Justin Trudeau talking from a reporter.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things.
Oh my gosh.
Saving the planet.
That is way worse just listening to it than watching the video.
I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled to see if that was edited. Have you seen that in multiple places?
That's the only one that I've seen.
If somebody comes back and said, because it's so bad.
It's really bad.
And when I was watching, because it's from a video, you could I saw him saying, it's not just like sound that we got. I was like watching his mouth and it matches the words and it was continuous. I'm like, this cannot possibly be real. I read like 200 comments under, because somebody inevitably will say, folks, this is edited.
Right.
Now I want you to re-listen to it the way I hear it, which is that the climate change shocker person, he's wearing in my mind, he's wearing like a dog shock collar. And if he says something bad, they zap him. And then he has to change course. So when the climate change, how are you not prepared for this question? We're talking about what are you doing to reduce plastics? And he just utterly panics. And then if it does make more sense, if you listen to him, like he's being shocked when he says, oh, we use plastics. And then he's like,
sorry.
No,
and what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things.
It's better every time.
WTH, people. What? I mean, the man who is like managing the lives of Canadians to the greatest detail. His maybe this is a Canadian thing. Do we have any resident Canadians around here can translate? I don't speak Canadian, apparently.
I didn't hear one A in there.
Yeah. It would have made it make more sense. Water paper box
things.
Like what?
Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things.
Drink box water bottles. How about Trudeau? This is how this works. What are you doing to reduce plastics? Well, Annie, what do you do to reduce plastics? I have a 30-ounce Yeti here with a silicone straw, and I wash it in my dishwasher or by hand. Brad, what do you do to reduce your usage of plastics?
I use my Iron Flask water bottle made out of vacuum formed stainless steel with a straw in it.
And we're not even running countries, and we're not even campaigning on reducing plastic. Panic!
He said, oh no, I drink out of water bottles.
Yeah. Get those trucks back out here. Distract me. I mean, I don't know how you, that's an easy answer. Somebody find that that's edited. And if I found that was edited, it would make more sense. It's like trying to decipher Joe Biden. And I do speak American. I don't speak Canadian, apparently, because I have no idea what he was saying. Good grief.
That's bad.
What are you personally doing to, well, this isn't about me.
This isn't about me. I'm here to tell you what you are supposed to be doing about reducing. Listen, I'm the prime minister. I get to do whatever I want. You plebs have to change what you're doing.
I'm sure that the people who work for me are doing things, at least in my presence, to appear as though they're working to reduce plastics. Wasn't it Trudeau who admired China?
Yes.
Wasn't it Trudeau who went and said that like the China economy was one that he looked towards?
Well, not only that, it was about like how they were able to implement their will because they didn't have to deal with voting and all that other stuff. And so they can just implement their agenda.
I gotta play this real quick. How long is this? Hold on.
Let's see what Justin Trudeau had to say about Chinese state authoritarianism in 2014.
He was asked which country he most admired and referred to China.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China.
Oh,
even then.
So the level of admiration I have for China and their economy, you want to talk about reducing plastics and trying to avoid waste? Why not look at China, who, if we never used a single plastic again in the Western Hemisphere, would not be able to compensate for the complete and total lack of concern that China has for the environment.
Mm.
That's actually making me angry. I just don't, I mean, panic. Roop, roop, roop. Personal accountability. Who let you in here? It's like Lori Lightfoot at a Chicago press conference. You make me angry and you're a jerk. Get him out of here. That's how she treats the people who don't agree with her. It's what apparently Trudeau just inverted. It was crazy. Wiggins, back in studio in a minute. Don't go away.
Why are some people afraid to enjoy their retirement? And why are some people so worried about spending money during their golden years? Maybe it's because they're afraid of running out of money. Maybe they're afraid of depleting their nest egg, either through spending too much or through investment strategies that could result in losses. Hi, my name is Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Do you have a fear of depleting your savings and running out of money too soon? Let me help put your mind at ease. I can help you create an optimal retirement income distribution strategy that helps to maximize income from your retirement savings and eliminate your fear of running out of money. Call 314-328-6000 today and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
AG Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
So Lakeside Renovation and Design has great financing opportunities for you to start the project on the home remodel that you maybe have been putting off for some time. I want you to check out Lakeside Renovation and Design and see some of the beautiful, gorgeous transformations they've made. I follow them on Instagram and Facebook. And when you are following Lakeside Renovation and Design on those accounts and you just get to see these transformations, it's like TV level stuff. It is amazing. If you are looking for someone to make that exterior transformation to your home, James Hardy siding, or the beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows that are going to be incredibly efficient and also just really stand out, top-notch, top-of-the-line windows, you have to go to Lakeside Renovation and Design, as they are the exclusive provider for these Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. Schedule a consultation today and talk about the design part of your new dream area in your dream home. 636-978-5000 is the number to call. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. 636-978-5000, lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 22nd, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your ED without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's worth $1,000, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A plan to lower gas prices. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden today urging Congress to approve a summer suspension of the federal tax on gas and diesel to temporarily lower fuel prices.
I fully understand that a gas tax holiday alone is not going to fix the problem, but it will provide families some immediate relief just a little bit of breathing room as we continue working to bring down prices for the long haul.
The president also calling on states to suspend their gas taxes or take measures to lower prices. Critics say a tax suspension won't lower prices enough to affect consumers and warn there's no assurance retailers would pass along those savings to customers. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell today telling members of the Senate Banking Committee that the Fed is determined on raising interest rates high enough to slow inflation. Critics say such a move could trigger a recession. Powell said the pace of future rate hikes will depend on whether and how quickly inflation starts to decline. The Supreme Court announcing it's adding a day to deliver opinions this week, publishing them tomorrow and Friday, as more than a dozen cases are still undecided.
The Supreme Court has yet to offer final opinions on cases involving gun laws, religious expression at public schools, and abortion. Politico reported a draft opinion suggesting a majority of justices are prepared to overturn Roe v. Wade and abortion protections considered court precedent for decades. Traditionally, the justices wrap up the term by the end of June or early July.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says he wants to discuss the outlines of a Marshall Plan for Ukraine with the leaders of the Group of 7 countries at their upcoming summit. The chancellor told Germany's parliament today that rebuilding Ukraine will be a task for generations. The U.S.-sponsored Marshall Plan helped revive European economies after World War II. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with expertise and tools with Windows 11 to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. To do more with a Latitude laptop, Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Giving it your all on the court? Make sure you have the right partner by your side. Highland's Leg Cramps Quick Dissolve Tablets. America's #1 leg cramp relief solution for over 10 years. No water needed, no stomach upset, just fast, effective relief. Also available in caplets. Highland's Leg Cramps, to healthy competition and beyond. Available at Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS. Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
90 to 95 degrees for the high temperature this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, hot and humid. Just a tiny chance of a spot thunderstorm. Tough to find tonight. Clear skies. A slow drop in the humidity, but it's going to take much of the night. 69. Thursday, sunny. Great day. Less humid. 90 degrees. Jump it to 95 Friday, jump it to 100 on Saturday, and then a fall, less humid, and 85 on Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's happening right here, right now.
You've got people who are very well educated and very well off. Those people talk funny. Latinx, I've never met a Latinx. I've never met a BIPOC.
When they say that adding trillions upon trillions of dollars in additional spending somehow will lower inflation and the deficit, nah.
Right here, right now.
Even the border that is wide open. This president and his team, they blame Donald Trump.
This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Hairsaloon.com. I want you to check out the website right now because if you are looking for a top-notch, affordable place to get a great haircut every time, it's simple. You go to Hair Saloon. Men, if you are looking for a place that you can go get this haircut in an environment that caters to you and is in some ways old-fashioned, but truly it's kind of a returned rightful way to treat a man, a gentleman, when they come in and they sit down and get a relaxing haircut, a scalp massage. You can get a complimentary beverage. And like I said, a great haircut every time. There's nothing wrong with being treated like the man that you are in an environment that is set up to cater to you. And Hair Saloon, that's their goal. You can go on their website and make appointments directly from the website so you know where to show up and when to. They have 16 locations. They're on both sides of the river. And from my family to yours, the experience at Hair Saloon has been fantastic each and every time. And we always look forward to going back. At least I don't go with my husband and my son. They go by themselves, but they always look great when they come home. If you're looking to get a haircut soon, give Hair Saloon a try, hairsaloon.com.
Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to BrentonVision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at BrentonVision.com.
Did you know there's a Space Channel?
One of the most exciting projects in the solar system.
Space Channel's got movies, original series, news, music, and so much more.
We have come to visit you in peace. Now we're getting to what they call the moment of truth.
Download the Space Channel app on your connected TVs and mobile devices. Just go to the App Store and search Space Channel. Do it now. It's free.
Space Channel. Front row seat to the final frontier.
Leaving a child in a hot vehicle can lead to their death very quickly. Set cell phone reminders or place something you'll need in the back seat so you don't forget your child is in the car. Look for your baby before you lock. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Mark Cox.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Kilmeade.
How about this?
Annie Frey.
Wow, we really got to change course.
Mark Reardon.
Coming together.
Dana Lash.
I mean, it's 2022.
Listen on the Odyssey app and rewind whenever you'd like.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Wednesday. It's 2 o'clock on a Wednesday. I like to think of 2:08 on a Wednesday as being the exact midpoint of your week. Is that fair?
It's not technically accurate, but
it's really assuming everybody's work week is the same as mine.
Yes. Yeah, but fine. If that's what you like, why not?
If you work a 9 to 5, 5 days a week,
it's close.
I wonder what the decrease of people 5 years ago who worked that schedule compared to today post-COVID. I wonder how much that's decreased.
No idea.
Have you ever said that? Usually you just make crap up.
Well, here's what I was about to make up. When we say that St. Louis is the middle of the country, that's the same as saying 2 o'clock on a Wednesday is the middle of the week. Because it's not quite.
Ish.
But it's pretty close. We're right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you feel like you feel like we're on the downward slope to the weekend now?
I feel like, yeah, we're on the downward slope. We're into like mid-Kansas.
What's our favorite place in Kansas? Topeka?
Wichita.
Wichita. I forgot.
And by the way, Wichita.
Is there any Wichita
Not
news?
on the way to anything.
Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, it is on its own.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Wichita, Kansas was like obsessively talking about Collinsville, Illinois right now?
That would just be, I mean, that's just
you guys
balance.
ever seen this ketchup bottle?
Balance in the
huge.
universe.
It's the biggest one there is.
We
Says
should just
ketchup.
pot up whatever station that's talk in Wichita right now and just listen to it for the whole 2 o'clock hour. Okay, we will. And if they're talking about St. Louis at all, we're staying tuned to the whole thing. Because we will know for sure, because this proves a larger point that there's ultimate balance in the universe.
Odyssey has Wichita, Kansas stations.
Ooh, let's see.
I'm gonna look here.
They have to be Odyssey stations, or else we'll get in trouble.
Unless they suck.
I kind of hope they do suck.
What
So we can
happened?
listen to it and be like,
What happened at 2:00 on Wednesday? Because this radio station's ratings just plummeted.
Yeah, they plummeted down to like Wichita levels. And those guys suck. What happened to the Annie Frey show?
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
I can't even find it. Wichita radio stations.
I'm picturing this corporate meeting where they're talking about one day's 15 minutes of ratings.
KNSS 98.7 FM.
Okay.
News Talk. I wonder if they're like a 97.1 News Talk or if there's like an 11:20 News Talk.
I don't know. Now that you're there, what are your plans? What are your intentions?
Are we going to get fired?
Yes, we are. Yes.
Watch
Keep
them
going.
take over this show.
Let's pick a fight with them, and
This
then
is
we lost.
Wichita's number 1 talk. So I don't know. Let's give it a listen later. Not
Okay.
on the air. I don't know. That could be problematic.
You don't want a Mystery Science Theater it?
I kind of want to.
I do.
I don't know.
You
No,
ever
I'm,
see-
I'm trying to think if somebody were doing this to our show right now and we
Uh-huh.
had no idea.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I'd be panicking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You ever seen the
We could
Saturday
be
Night
huge
Live?
in Wichita.
Who knows? We could be syndicated there. We don't even know it.
That reminds me, I got something to say. Go ahead.
You ever seen Saturday Night Live where they do the fake puke? You know, they always pull their hand up to their mouth because they have a hose running in their hand. And they go, "Wah!" I picture that being the board meeting where they're talking about the ratings for this segment.
Steve barfing all over.
Everybody is.
Oh,
They're
it's
just throwing up
well,
all over
after
each
one
other.
person does, then
Yeah,
that's
it's a chain reaction.
I was uploading some of the audio from yesterday's show to our podcast so people could hear some of the Richard Irvin interview, and you put together for us the juxtaposition of Darren Bailey's answers to who did you vote for in 2016 and 2020, because there's the assumption out there that he voted for Biden on an ad that we play in the state. I guess we don't play it anymore.
Might have voted for Biden.
Might have voted for Biden.
Might have voted for Biden.
Yeah. And the question about whether Richard Irvin, the mayor of Aurora, ever supported Donald Trump, which he said something to the effect of like, I hate that guy. That might be a direct quote. And that was what he was quoted as. But all that's neither here nor there. I was putting some of this audio in our podcast, which, by the way, go subscribe to it. Even if you don't ever listen to it, it makes the show look good. And I need every ounce of that I can get, probably specifically today, because we have a meeting after the show. And I was like, oh, I'll look at some of the analytics here. So when it comes to countries that listen to the Annie Frey Show on podcast, the United States, far and away.
Good.
The next one,
America first.
Australia.
Really?
The next one, Japan.
No kidding.
Japan, for the month of, it was the last 30 days, we had 138 downloads in Japan. And it tells you the city, and it's Nagoya. And I looked, I'm like, because that meant that if you had like a dozen, it might say that like there was a audio played 138 times, but it was in 12 different cities, which means that it was maybe downloaded 2 or 3 times, whatever. All 138 listens came from Nagoya, Japan. And I looked, and there's an American consulate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you're our person in Japan, Japanese or American, hi.
Well, my good friend just
Hello?
moved to Japan. So this
Really?
is not over the last like month, right?
Yes, it is. Is that him?
It might be him.
I was like, who from the American consulate?
No, he watches the YouTube stream, so I doubt it's him. It's probably somebody at the consulate.
Regardless, I just thought it was really cool.
That is cool.
And looking at all the different countries where the Annie Frey Show gets a play, or quite a bit, United Kingdom, really all across the world, not in like a huge fashion. But you imagine if you're somebody who travels for work and you're from St. Louis, like these don't have to be, we're not like that. I guess we are kind of worldwide accidentally, but if you're somebody who is from this area, I know lots of people who listen to the show on the podcast or have taken us on the Odyssey app specifically, because you can listen live on the Odyssey app anywhere. And they moved to North Carolina and they enjoy our show and they let us know. We still listen to you. Arizona, I have somebody who listens in Arizona, people in Texas who listen. And that's really cool. And we really appreciate that. But the Japan one was interesting.
Yeah, it's always neat when you hear foreign nations, especially non-English speaking, at least as the first language, downloading your podcast. And then also closed nations like China, they very heavily monitor what comes in and out, and other Middle Eastern nations sometimes do too, depending on what the government's like at any given moment. If you see downloads from those nations, that's actually really cool. And I, used to do more like gospel-centered programming. Whenever we used to see downloads from closed nations, as far as the gospel goes, you go, oh, that's actually really cool, because they didn't censor you yet. The government hadn't found out about you yet, basically. That's neat.
I just thought it was fun. Do you have the YouTube live chat poll today is, will you vote in your state's primary? Have you voted yet? In Illinois, early voting is open. Ryan, have you voted yet?
Nope.
And Brad hasn't, but you said you're on your way.
My plan is to do it tonight.
I'm doing it Tuesday. Day of. Yep. That's the plan.
I think I'm going to try to probably do it Thursday or Friday. But I heard that in Illinois, it's incredibly easy to go early vote. We don't have to get into the specific details if you don't want to talk about who you're voting for. But Ryan, do you feel like you could walk in right now and cast your ballot? You know exactly what you're going to do.
No, I don't. I still am undecided.
Can you tell us which races that you're not 100% sure about?
Governor.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, GOP governor. I know who I'm going to vote for in the general.
Yeah. Fill in blank here.
Right. Whoever it is. But I can tell you the three candidates that I'm between right now. If you want to go there,
if you want to, yeah, I just don't want to make you say anything you don't want.
Yeah,
to.
no, right now I'm between Richard Irvin and Bailey and Rabine. I still don't know.
Okay.
Anything could sway me in these last few days.
Really, and
even the conversation you had with Richard Irvin, that kind of stuff. I'm looking for something to hang my hat on. That kind of stuff matters to me right now.
Brad.
I am 90% sure about who I'm going to vote for in the governor's race. Most of my other races are pretty much locked in because, I don't know that my congressman even has an opponent.
Bost?
Yeah. And Wavy Lester's pretty cool. And I like him, so I'll be voting for him.
For state senate?
And so I'm kind of just to kind of go along with Ryan, I'm down to between two candidates in gubernatorial race. Darren Bailey and Jesse Sullivan are kind of where I'm kind of back and forth between. So,
okay. G-Wibs on our YouTube channel says, Annie, speak to the fact that a rhino has a better chance of winning in Illinois over a true conservative. So do we vote that way in the primary or with our true feelings in the most conservative? I talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I want to know what you guys think about this also. He says, speak to the fact that a rhino has a better chance of winning in Illinois over a true conservative. G-Wibs, you're saying that's a fact. I don't think it's a fact. If you actually look at the track record of rhinos running in the state of Illinois, you notice how there's a super majority of Democrats at every level and an incredibly far leftist Democratic governor. That's because running the rhino that everybody says you have to run in order to be able to win in Illinois, folks, it doesn't win. There is no fact. There is no roadmap for how a Republican wins in Illinois because we have not won in Illinois.
I'll defend his comment a little bit. We have had Republican governors who were very centrist. You could call them rhinos.
Who?
Rauner. You go back to Ryan, whoever that was. These guys, politics have changed a lot since then. But the only governors we have had have been centrist Republicans. So you could make a case that say you've never had conservative Republicans win, but you have had rhinos win, therefore rhinos are more likely. I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm saying there's a case to be made for that.
I'm saying that we haven't run non-rhinos. You're saying that rhinos have won, but we've only run weak Republicans.
Thinking true conservatives wouldn't win.
We've been told that moderate at best conservatives is the only path forward in the state of Illinois. And so it might be true that only, air quotes, rhino Republicans have won, but we never get past this point and run a true God's honest conservative. We don't. Because you can't name somebody who has run in a general election to represent actual Republican conservative ideals in a prominent Republican race in the state of Illinois. Folks, this is one of the first years that the Republican Party in Illinois, get this, that the Republican Party in Illinois has had the sole focus of having a candidate in every race.
Wow.
It's that tragic. So we're told on a regular basis that the only way that a Republican can win in the state of Illinois is if they're moderate. The most conservative they can be is if they're moderate. And to what Ryan was saying, because the Republicans that we have had that have won have been moderate, but those are the only ones that make it that far. To have somebody who is firmly rooted in the idea of freedom, liberty, and the Constitution, which is how I define conservatism for me. If you're on the left, I understand how you think that might be a little subjective. And folks, it's the Annie Frey Show. So it is a little subjective. I concede that. That's fine. But for me to have my conservative ideals represented in the candidate that I want to push back against the far left progressive J.B. Pritzker, who wants to be the destination state in the United States, the destination state for the most abortion accessible services that one can access, wants to make preserve Illinois as a sanctuary state, a destination for people who come here outside the confines of the laws that we have set up to enter this country, wants to create a sanctuary state for them, who is overseeing the third largest city in the entire union that is a disaster dumpster fire of crime and violence. And the only thing that this leftist party has to respond to that is to take guns away and to attack law enforcement, which only perpetuates the problem and causes even more people to flee the great state that is the state of Illinois. If I'm going to lose this race, if I'm going to go down in November and lose these races in the state of Illinois, I don't want to lose in the way that we've proven over and over and over again that we lose. We have done this before. We've been told who we have to vote for, who we have to support. Exactly what G Wibs is saying on the YouTube channel. What you're saying is what everybody has been made to think. And I know it because he said, speak to the fact that a rhino has a better chance of winning in Illinois over a true conservative. That is not a fact. It is not a tested theory. And if Illinois was ever going to be positioned to give true conservatism a shot, it is 139 days from today. If we were having this conversation 4 years ago, Rauner versus Pritzker, the climate was not the same as it is right now. And I will remind you, running Rauner, who was a conservative Democrat in my view, running Rauner against Pritzker, folks, I had one foot in the studio when that race was called on election night. It was called before I got to my freaking chair in the studio to cover those results. So I know exactly how those races are lost. We are masterful at losing races in the, quote, only way a Republican can win. If we're going to lose the next one, let's lose it with some conservative integrity and represent who we truly are. I think that the climate is right for somebody who is going to represent those conservative values and be genuine about it and be who they are. And I really do believe that person is Darren Bailey.
You and polls, because the polls agree.
And the Democrats.
Well, you and Democrats. You and Democrats agree.
That's why I don't like polls, because the polls are reflecting the sentiment, but the polls also are taking into the fact that there is money being spent by the left to push Darren Bailey because they think he's more beatable. I think that in a normal, routine campaign cycle, that would be the case, but this is not that.
Well, I as much as I want to contradict you and did to some degree, I will say now, conversely, now flipping, there is reason and there is evidence out there right now to support what you're saying. More recently, since the Trump era, what's changed is those who have stuck hard to conservative principles, like your DeSantis's, in a swing state that Florida used to be a swing state. It has moved right partially because of DeSantis. Now, I'm not entirely, But you get somebody in office like that, and they can shake things up enough and make people realize, oh, I actually like this enough. I don't know if that can happen in Illinois, but like you said, it's an experiment we really haven't tried.
And if we don't try it now, we're never going to have this opportunity again, folks. This is the moment in time where it is so bad the way that it is right now. The status quo is such a disaster that people will be willing to say anything else. Don't ever lock my kids out of their classroom again. Don't ever make my young child put a mask on again. Don't ever tell me how I'm going to, handle my own medical care again. Don't tell me that you know how to educate my kids better than I do again. Do you want lies of provided security? Or do you want your freedom? And I'm not even going to say back, because they don't get to take it from you. If it's freedom that can be taken and given, it's not freedom. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get Hannah in here and talk about last weekend. And we had a little party. So we're going to talk a little bit about that party and share a picture with you on the break here on the Annie Frey YouTube channel while you go and vote for the YouTube live chat poll. Will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? We'd love to hear what you think about that. Make sure you get your vote in, and Hannah will give us those results at 2:45. And at this event that we had over the weekend, somebody attached to the show almost really injured one of the children of the show. And we're going to get the full details play by play when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. 97.1 is St. Louis's radio destination for information with perspective. It's where St. Louis and beyond comes to talk. Right here, right now. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
CAJonesInc.com, which I thought is funny. I don't think I've said this on the air, but when I was writing that out today, it says CajonesInc.com. CAJonesInc.com. If you are looking to build a home, you can go to CajonesInc.com. I hope that they're okay with me saying that.
That's easy to remember, though. It does look like that. Cajones Inc.
Yeah, if you go to CajonesInc.com right now, that would be great for me. CAJonesInc.com, the top energy efficient home builder in the area. Your home built by CA Jones is going to be unique to you. The amount of customization opportunities that they offer you, absolutely, you need to check out their website. They have different layouts there that you can pick from and kind of learn the different ways that you can accommodate the space that you want. A lot of people who go to CA Jones are people who maybe had bigger houses before, but now they're empty nesters, and they want a house where everything they have in there is in the place that they want it, and smaller and efficient and just, the best. That's CA Jones, and you can work with them with their buildable plans, their modern features at an affordable cost. Like I said, it's CajonesInc.com or CAJonesInc.com.
So we were trying to come up with a title for this podcast. Let's have a shorter name that's catchier, that kind of speaks to you. And my wife, Gretchen, says, what about Hey Maine? Hey Maine. Hey Maine. So I gave in, just like I gave in when she wanted a cat. But I get to keep my subtitle, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. So it's Hey Maine, the Kenny Mayne Talks to Famous People podcast. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. I think that's the tagline.
Ever wonder what it's like to play in an MLB game? Play Loud is your exclusive look into the fun of the game as we mic up the league's biggest players and follow them with dedicated cameras both on and off the field. Watch game time reactions to some of the biggest plays and follow your favorite players as they chat in the dugout with their teammates between innings. You never know what you're going to see or hear. It's baseball like you've never watched before. Tune in for new episodes of Play Loud only on the MLB YouTube channel.
I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group. I'm proud to say we are a family business. Through innovative financial tools, my nephew Bob and I are committed to making sure your retirement nest egg is kept safe from market declines. As a matter of fact, we have never lost a dime of our clients' money, and we won't lose any of yours either.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw, and the secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. As we look ahead at the likelihood of increasing volatility in the market, it's important that you protect your nest egg from market losses as that's the engine that drives your retirement income.
Our family would like to help your family retire comfortably and keep your retirement safe and secure. Call us now for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 36 years. Call us now, 314-993-9494, or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 22nd, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. 60 studies now say this technology can get rid of your ED without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 22nd. It's worth $1,000, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So you really telling me that cojones is spelled C-O-J-O-N-E-S?
I'm not telling you that.
That's what Josh on the Facebook or on the YouTube said.
I like how we're like, well, Josh said it.
Yeah.
Right.
Josh is smart. He's in the Annie Frey Show YouTube chat.
Wait a minute.
I just Googled that and the description is
Careful.
definitely C-O.
No. I'm finding it that it's C-A-J-O-N-E-S, as in C.A. Jones. No. It's got to be C-A-J-O-N-E-S. I don't see anything that comes up for C-O.
And on the second segment of the 2 o'clock hours, they Googled words.
Dangerous
maybe
words.
it maybe
I'm seeing it's both.
It can go both. It may be able to go
So
both.
for this purpose,
Yeah,
it's C.A. Jones. Cojones.
that's right.
Inc.com. Yeah, but C-O-J-O-N-E-S also applies. So I think we're both right, which is the way it
That
should be.
never happens.
Noun, informal, North American. I won't read the.
I was going to say, it's very simple, straight to the point.
But the second description is courage and guts.
Yeah.
He does not have the cojones to kill a flea used in a sentence. If you're looking for spelling.
Ball says, yo, beanbag.
Sup. I prefer to go by
boop.
Boop. Beanbag or boop. Hannah's in studio. So we had last weekend Molly's first birthday party, and I invited the show and their families to come along. And yeah, Ryan, you got kids, you've got twins, so I don't know how like deep you go into birthday party planning. Is it a big deal? Do you go all out for birthdays?
So the twins and my third are all within about a week and a half, 2 weeks of each other, so we can knock them out mostly at the same time. So,
but is that acknowledging their birthday, or are we talking about? I mean, because you've never invited any of us,
so we have acknowledged that. Here's how big their birthday was this year. We went to the park by our house, invited some of their classmates, and I bought a 50-cent streamer and put it up between 2 trees. That's it.
And donuts, right?
Oh yeah, I did get donuts. That's right.
There you go.
So
not big.
First birthday
you got to do.
exception.
Yeah.
What did you do for the first birthdays for your twins and for?
We went to that same park and invited more people. Yeah, that's it.
But
we reserved a
You made an
pavilion
effort to celebrate the first birthday in a way that you don't.
Some people came from out of town.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
Yes.
Especially for first birthday for twins, for your first 2 kids. Big deal.
You guys just like pass out on the park ground. Like,
there's a lot of people here. We could probably go to sleep.
Somebody will take care of the kids. Probably. Bye.
I really don't remember that first year.
I believe it.
It
hard
was
when
hard.
when there's one. I really don't understand the capacity to do two.
You know what's crazy? I know this is not where we're going with this segment, but the divorce rate for parents who have twins is higher than for those who don't, because it's that hard.
I believe
It's stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're sleep deprived, you start saying things in a really rash and honest way.
And everything you're doing, you're plus being the first two. So we had never had one. And I've talked to parents who said, it doesn't matter whether you've had one before or not. Twins are just different.
It would be different, but if you had a frame of reference.
To me, it would make a difference. And this was our first two just right out of the gate. We realized how selfish we were. And especially me. I mean, I'm speaking on behalf of her as if she's saying the same thing. I don't know.
She was super selfish.
She was so selfish. But everything you do up until that point is basically to self-serve. You have all your time.
Yeah.
Now, all 100% of your time is not yours
with
anymore.
twins. Yeah.
200% of your time is not your time anymore. So you have none. So everything, any time you get is when your spouse is willing to give you that time. So
and then you start keeping track.
Yes, you do. And then you start grasping for more of it and asking for more of it. And there's no getting out of it. You basically have to die to self. You're just done.
Yeah. Which is the sooner you learn the lesson, the better. But
Crash course.
What you factor in the lack of sleep and oh my goodness. So first birthday party for Molly, number 4, was entirely different than first birthday party for Charlie, and just like sequentially.
Yeah.
For instance, I forgot to get a candle. Like my mom walked out with a white tapered candle and a pillar candle and a candle that was the number 5. And I go, if we turn the 5 to the side and take a picture like that, it kind of looks like a 1.
And that's what we did.
That was what it was. And Molly was still happy. She wasn't like totally offended and like, you're the worst mom ever. She'll tell me that in like 13 years. Is that right? 14 years. So we had the crew over and I was really grateful that you guys all came. I trust that you had a good time.
At least you had a candle. We just burned some of the park trash and stood around it with the fingertips cut off of our gloves.
Gross.
Oh.
Gross.
It was cold back in May.
When you are running a birthday party, when you're like the mom in a birthday party, you don't really get to enjoy said party. It's a lot of work. And it's a lot of work for a first birthday party, even when you're not putting as much effort into it as you did the other first birthday parties. So we had it at my parents' pool at the farm, and you guys got to come over and see my childhood home. And the older kids, so my son and my nephews and some of the people were like, we want to put together a grown-ups versus kids wiffle ball game. And they were really pushing on this. My son came, he's like, will you play? And I was like, I don't think that I can go be over in the field doing this while I'm entertaining people. But I said, maybe your dad will play or whatever. So you guys went to play.
They had signups, I would like to add, like a paper sheet and a pen.
Is that like
sign
isn't
up.
that like such a 10-year-old, 12-year-old thing to do? Like, we're going to do this thing and it's going to be organized and it's going to be real. They were
you
all over
signed the paper, so you got to come play.
Yeah. Is that what they made you do?
Yeah, I signed the paper.
I didn't even know this. This missed all of me.
Totally
because
missed
I was
out.
over on the other side of the party watching Annie entertain her guests. And I was telling her, juggle now. Stand on this ball.
I was juggling, just like figuratively speaking.
Yeah, unicycle.
So tell me, Hannah, how did this, was it wiffle ball or what was it?
Blitzball.
Blitzball, I don't know what that is.
It's wiffle. It's wiffle ball. It's just a little bit harder
The
ball.
ball's
right?
different. Yeah.
But that's an important part of the story is
Yeah.
that the ball is a bit harder.
Yes. It certainly is.
And an understatement.
And you can throw it harder too because
like a
it's
wiffle
got
ball,
a little
you
more
can't
weight.
send too terribly
It doesn't
far.
have the wiffle ball has those holes in one side of
Wiffles.
it. Is that what those are called? Wiffles?
Of course.
I'm gonna look it up.
No, we can't do that now. You have to tell the story.
Spelled Cojones. Wiffle.
Says a male.
But wiffle balls, you can throw them only so hard, but you can also make them curve
make
real
them do
hard.
crazy things.
This ball you can't do as much with, but you have
to do it differently.
Yeah.
I heard that this ball curves well.
Well, I'm not saying you
it
can't curve it.
Yeah, but you just have to curve it like you would like a baseball.
Tell me what
or a
happened
slider.
during the game.
Okay, so I walked up. I was looking for St. John because like the rest of my family's all over on the side where you're talking about.
St. John is how old?
He's 8, just turned 8. And so I find apparently there's this big wiffle blitz ball game taking place. Brad's in it. A whole bunch of other people are in it. Your son Charlie's in it. My son Sinjin, and it's adults versus kids. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Parker was in it.
I have, Parker, Mr. Wonderful.
Is he Mr. Wonderful still, Ryan?
We'll see at the end of the story. So I'm watching it because I felt like, well, you know what? We don't. I remember growing up and playing every time we'd go to a barbecue at actually the people who own Andrea's. We knew them well growing up. We would go to their house and we'd play wiffle ball. My dad and Larry, who owns Andrea's, would be on the adult team. We'd be on the kids team. It was the same situation, a little less people. So I felt like I was obligated to step into this game because I grew up with it and I want my son to have those same memories. So I watched for a minute and then I realized, okay, I can't just sit here and watch. Now I got to play. And Brad's already playing. So Brad, I think, invited me in and whoever did. So I went out and played in the field. Well, then when Parker was pitching, right? No.
I
Parker
wasn't
was up
around.
to bat.
Parker was up to bat and Sinjin decided to pitch, which he hasn't really done before. He's 8 years old. He's right in the middle of the pack of the ages of the kids.
He was moved.
To kind of set this up, you have to see Parker. Parker's like 6'8", 220. And
he's a dude.
He's maybe 6'2", 190.
Yeah, but whenever you're Sinjin's age, when you're Sinjin's age, he's 7 foot tall.
He's not 8.
Right. Yeah. My son's
a
up
man.
there and he's an athletic kid, but I don't know that he's never really done this. So he's pitching to a grown adult male who is in his physical prime.
We all said from not our physical prime.
Yeah. And
As Ryan is gritting his teeth.
now did Parker tell the story to you? And do you want to tell that part?
No, you tell it.
You can
saw
tell it. I got
Okay.
pulled over to the side after it happened.
So we all as adults were winning, and that was really what was
As it
most
should
important.
be.
Yeah. So we weren't taking it easy on the kids. The kids were doing decent.
Slow clap.
Parker went up there and decided to make sure that we were not taking it easy on the kids. And Sinjin threw a decent pitch. Parker smoked that ball. And Sinjin did like a matrix fall to his left. And the ball went, right past his ear. And then somehow had enough spin on it that the ball started to rise.
Yes. And like drift.
Yeah, like imagine a ball being hit right at Tommy Edmonds' head and then somehow drifting upward over the wall into home run territory. That's what this ball looked like. And it would have maybe cracked the skull of my kid. He was hit so hard.
What did you do?
He fell down and went, well, that one got pretty close. And we all stopped. We're like, that could have been really bad.
And then we laughed.
Then we laughed, and Parker got off the hook.
Real quick before we go to break, there's also some reports about Brad's behavior in this game. Hannah?
I have a report that to mention
from our sources.
Yes.
No, you don't even have to report this. I'll admit to it.
No. Let's see how it was reported directly from the source.
When Brad was pitching, he hit Sinjin in the stomach and another kid in the face.
Yeah, Brad did.
I had some control issues.
So
self-control or
no, these were accidents.
No, this was out of anger.
Poor Sinjin. Sinjin's never going to want to play again.
You know what? Sinjin, when he hit Sinjin wasn't even up to bat. He was on deck, and he still hit him in the face. Brad hit.
I didn't hit Sinjin in the face.
He hit another kid.
That was the other kid.
Oh, well, you hit my son when he wasn't at bat.
Yeah, that was an accident too.
And he was on the verge of being like, "Ooh, that hurt." Like he was trying not to show it. You know?
Who won the game?
All the adults. We were.
My brother was playing with you guys. He goes, they're pretty competitive. I'm like,
yeah.
You have no idea. You have no possible idea. I go, we were talking about a game of Survivor on an island one time, and somebody asked us who would be the last one standing, and Brad goes, I'd be the first one out. And I was like, why? Because you were the weakest? He goes, no, because you'd take out the strongest person first. And I said, the culmination of that was it would be down to Annie and Ryan decided he would annoy me to death. And a lot of competition there, but everybody ended up okay.
I don't know.
Hope so.
I
think so.
Sinjin scarred.
The parts where they could have gotten really injured weren't bad. The parts where Brad hit them, I don't know.
Well, thanks for coming to Molly's birthday party. You can see a picture of the crew with Miss Molly, who turned 1, on the Annie Frey Show Instagram page. We'll share it to the Facebook page later in the day as well. Poll results. Will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? In the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. And we come back. Go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Have you been watching the January 6th hearings?
What happened was absolutely terrible. It should never happen again. Should it be a spectacle? No.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Stewart's American Mortgage. Stewie wants to compete and beat your locked-in rate. If you have a financial situation right now that you want to improve, I need you to reach out to Stewart's American Mortgage because he's going to tell you how he can help you. If you use the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage, which is the only place you can get the bagel loan, you're going to pay zero in fees that every other lender out there is going to charge you for. And in a time like what we're experiencing right now in this economy, every dollar counts. And if you are purchasing a home with the bagel loan or doing a big refinance with your home, every dollar counts. You can save thousands of dollars by using the bagel loan, only offered at Stewart's American Mortgage. Make sure you're locking in the lowest term rate available. This is how you reach Stewie. Call or text him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. When you reach out to Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, you're quickly going to understand why so many Annie Frey Show listeners have turned to him and had him help them through their mortgage refinance or home purchase situation. And they come back and tell me, Annie, I just wish I would have called sooner. 314-324-4440. You can Google bagel loan and find Stewie there as well. And MLS number 226715.
Diabetic neuropathy, cold feet, resting leg pain, foot wounds that don't heal. These are classic signs of peripheral artery disease, or PAD. Left untreated, PAD can lead to gangrene and even lower limb amputation. Modern Vascular is a healthcare leader in the outpatient treatment of PAD. Last year, over 10,000 patients across the country chose Modern Vascular for the diagnosis and treatment of their PAD. Modern Vascular clinics consistently receive high Google review ratings and have received over 500 five-star patient reviews in the last 12 months. In fact, Modern Vascular has been recognized as the best PAD treatment specialist in the country. If you or someone you love is experiencing the symptoms of PAD, don't ignore it. Visit modernvascular.com today or call 844-4PAD-HELP to schedule a consultation in our local clinic. That's 844-4PAD-HELP.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Tax hikers, Chicago politicians, and rhinos are lining up to defeat conservative Jennifer Cordy in the 112th district race in Illinois. Don't believe their desperate lies. Jennifer Cordy is a mother who got involved in politics to take on Pritzker and speak up for parental rights. Jennifer Cordy has strong family ties to Madison County. She is one of us and will fight to cut taxes and put families first. Say no to the corrupt establishment by voting for Jennifer Cordy on June 28th.
Paid for by Citizens for Jennifer Cordy.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for spending some of your afternoon with us. We are always grateful, and we always know that you have a choice to listen to us and not to listen to us. So we're always grateful when you do choose to spend some time with us here. The Annie Frey YouTube channel each day has a poll that you can go vote in, and we love reading these results from you folks. I think what I almost want to do in the beginning of the show is start predicting what we think the results are going to be.
That could be fun.
Because sometimes I have no idea. Sometimes I think I know exactly how it's going to turn out, and then it doesn't. So I'm kind of interested.
I would think this one's going to be pretty high.
So, Hannah, tell us what the poll is and give us the results for today's.
The poll question today is, will you vote in your state's primary? Yes or no? With 141 votes, 96% of the people said they are going to vote in their state's primary, and 4% of the people said they are not.
Good. I was hoping. Because I saw Bobby, I think on Facebook, she said she wasn't going to vote because she doesn't think her vote counts. And she thinks, did you star that one?
I did not,
okay.
but I was going to say,
I didn't want to scoop you on this because you're going to read some comments here in a second. But there are definitely people who are looking at the election system. I mean, isn't it interesting how both sides of the aisle are shouting about election integrity and wanting to fortify our elections and make them safe and secure? They're both talking about this, and it's completely different issues.
The left talking about it in terms of January 6th, you mean, or what do they say?
No, I mean, they wanted to put together, what was the election integrity bill or what?
Yeah, they wanted to federalize the elections. and all that other stuff.
They dropped it, but yes.
That you hear this constant push from both sides about how we need, how many times will you hear between now, and how many times have you heard already, between now and the general election, that if Republicans gain control, it will be the end of democracy.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing they're going to say.
That's very dramatic. And it's always ironic to me that the only way to preserve democracy is to vote for only one party.
Yeah, to eliminate competition.
That's very ironic.
Everything about we need to save democracy, so fill in that blank with anything, and probably 9 out of 10 of them are completely counterproductive.
99 out of 100,
Yeah.
maybe worse. All right, we got some comments from listeners who voted.
Yes, Jackie S. from YouTube says, I'll be voting and working in the next election.
Good for you, Jackie.
So that's great. Amy from YouTube says, vote early.
We don't know
and
how she's
often."
voting. Just kidding. I think we do. Amy, vote early and often. She lives in Illinois, clearly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
James from YouTube says, I voted a week ago. A quote relative said she wasn't going to vote because it didn't matter. Thought my head was going to explode. Couple days later, she said that she would.
I was at the DMV this morning. I had to get my license renewed. We complain about fast food on this show, like service on a regular basis. I had the most pleasant experience at the DMV today.
I'm shocked. I'm floored.
Edwardsville DMV.
Oh, yeah.
And they were not rude. They were pleasant. Every single person I had to work individually with 3 different people. They brought me in, and other people as they walked in. They had you sitting in a line of chairs, and they would have you move down instead of going to take a ticket and all that stuff. They just had a line of chairs, a fourth of the chairs maybe that they used to have in there. And they would just have you move down, and they'd always take the person who's to their far right. Are you here to get your license renewed? Yep. Okay, well, come over here. Let's get your picture taken. And when they're done with that, they'll call you up. You're the next one up to get your license renewed. I went and talked to that person. He was lovely. And then I had to get a new sticker. And I went and talked to her, and she was lovely. And she actually told me a way to save some money.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had to do multiple things with her.
Were they wearing red shirts and khakis and saying "My pleasure"? Okay, making sure it wasn't actually Chick-fil-A.
Okay, I thought you were saying State Farm, so I was confused. I was thinking, she's a guy, so. But anyway, Jake from State Farm. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting to go into a DMV and have this positive experience, and I wanted to make sure that I talked about it. But while I was sitting there, there was a man who was up there doing whatever he was at the DMV, and the guy said, "Would you like to register to vote?" He goes, "Never have been, don't want to now." And I wanted to go talk to him, and then I didn't because I'm not obnoxious.
Yeah, that's what I
But I
wonder
just
about some of
can't.
these people, if they're saying no because my vote doesn't matter because of election integrity issues, or if they're saying like
Probably.
that guy, nah, the two parties, the old kind of way of saying, my vote doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just heard that today at the DMV, and it just kind of made me sad because
That hurts your heart.
You do count, especially in primary elections and local elections.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there are races that are super local races that get decided by a vote.
Oh, the smaller it gets, the more important your vote is.
Yeah.
Because you really can swing things with
So
a
make sure
handful of people.
make sure you're talking to people in your life and making sure that, because a lot of people will go vote in the primary and think that's the election. We're nerds. We're the exception to the rule. There's nerds in like every interest group. That's us. But we have to remember that this is not the Illinois primary on June 28th, next Tuesday. The August 2nd Missouri primary is not top of mind for most people.
No. And even if you do know who you're going to vote for governor, doing just a little bit of research on the down ballot races, you can have a tremendous impact on who ends up running in those races.
All right, one more comment from Holly C. from YouTube. She says, I voted on June 13th in Illinois. My niece turned 18 in May, and she was excited to vote as well.
Good.
Congratulations to your niece. It's a great, great feeling to get to vote.
Yep. Just be involved. The primary opportunity is a great opportunity to get in there and really feel like you're being heard because it's your party. I mean, assuming you're pulling a ballot that's for your party, you can make a big difference that way.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for listening today. The podcast is going to be available on the Odyssey app, of course. You can subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcast there, but you can get them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth. And we always appreciate you listening to us. So stick around. The Mark Reardon Show is going to be streaming right here on the Odyssey app and on 97.1 FM Talk. So don't go anywhere.
What do you want from me?